transmission. Intercepted. For 3 hours. Signal detected. Mike, in the night. It's 3 a.m., screen still glows, satellites watching below, red lights blinking on every street, truth buried 6 feet deep, paper signed in quiet rooms, deals made under crescent moons, digital chains you never see, there's something in you wants to break free. They say it's safe, they say it's fine, but why's that camera watching mine? Clock hits free, the veil gets thin, you feel the static on your skin. Baseline truth, all at your fires. No more silence, no more talking. I have spoken. Bank accounts tracked every swipe, data mined from every type. Algorithm knows your face, predicting every move you make. Borders blur, control expands. Digital cuffs on steady hands, but in the dark the people wake. Feel the system start to shake. Eyes up, wake up, speak up, stand up. They fear the ones who see the play, they fear the ones who won't obey. Fight, fight, fight. 3 a.m., that's when you know. Fight, fight, fight. The quiet truth begins to grow. Fight, fight, fight. Signal cutting through the room. Fight, fight, fight. Truth breaking through the blue. Like in the night, no disguise, piercing through the alibis. Midnight message unbroken. I have spoken. When the world sleeps, the real talk starts. When the lights dim, we reveal the parts. Not red or blue, not left or right, just raw transmission. Mike in the night.
Spoken. Oh yeah, I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night to wherever you be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky or your camper or cabin in the woods, people of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. somewhere. It is 3 a.m. and something is moving you. I want to thank you all for joining, being part of the channel, liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me, guys. And Yeah, we got lots to kick off. Lots is happening. Lots of the geopolitical tensions are happening. We predicted a lot of stuff on here, and a lot of stuff is coming. And our prediction shows, I've been watching. I watched our 2020 prediction show we did the other day. Really good predictions we had back then, and kind of piecing out the playbook. Piecing out the playbook of the globalist playbook. What are the bad guys planning for us? What do the bad guys have in store for us here? And I am pretty pumped and psyched to be here tonight, guys. I was so excited to make this show tonight because I finally got a new app. You know, Earthquake from the channel, if you guys remember Earthquake. He showed me, we were at a bar, and he showed me an app on his phone that could make me a song for my show, and just put it in a description, and it's your music. So I bought the app, I paid for it, and I did it by the book, and now we got a couple of in-between songs, a couple of intro songs, a couple of ending songs. So we got something rolling here, guys, here on Mike and the Knights. Constantly pumping into the show, putting and doing what I can to make the show as good as possible for you guys, and as streamlined as possible. The only thing this show can't really do much of is getting guests on. I just cannot get guests on. I'm talking about guests from other content creators. They see me as a joke. I mean, I've been here 15 years. It's not like I showed up last week and I got a channel and some music and I'm going to talk about what you guys already know. No. I've been reaching out to a lot of content creators, and content creators you guys told me to get in touch with, and people that you thought might be good for the show or whatnot. I've reached out to people in the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, probably 100 plus, maybe 200 plus people. And only 5 or 6 got back to me and told me they weren't interested or they don't have time. So just letting you guys know I'm doing my part to try and get on all the other content creators, but nobody cares. We're an island. We are an island, and we're just here alone. And that's it. And that's why we keep telling you, yeah, we told you this and we told you this. Because a lot of the content creators that don't want to come on the show or talk or negotiate or talk about things or collaborate didn't exist back then. Didn't exist on social media. But they're here today to make some money, right? So you guys know we're not here for the money because we don't get anything. So anyways, somebody is, I don't know why I'm receiving a text message here. Let me just move this over here so this table doesn't get to rattle. All right, 639 of Mike of the Night, March 2nd, 2026, episode 639. Man, we're almost at 640, man. I can't believe it. I just can't believe how fast things are moving. Yeah. So we got Sandy for Freedom in the comments saying, appreciate your efforts, Mike. Like and share. Someone sent me a super chat for $6.99. Rainy Steps again. Hello, Mr. Mike. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for the super chat. And when you guys send me super chats or join the channel, it actually makes YouTube think, or the algorithm think, that people are taking this channel seriously, that they're donating to it. So yeah, when you guys super chat me, I get like, what, 60, 50% of it, 70%? I don't even know what it is anymore. But it shows YouTube that there is some sort of interest here. So they don't get rid of us. And they've tried to get rid of us 21 times in the last 15 years. Anyways, okay, that's enough about us. Let's move on. Let's go into a quick channel plug here, guys. Guys, don't forget, we are tuned in tonight to episode 639 of Mike in the Night. The system is tightening. And guys, if you want to join our email list, so make sure if we do a special show or an emergency show, a party show, an in anything show, you can join our email list at mikemartins1980@gmail.com. That's mikemartins1980@gmail.com. And I would appreciate you just sending me a message saying, I want to join the list. No problem. It comes to me directly. I add you through the week, and you don't miss an episode of Mike in the Night, especially episodes that matter, especially if you want to call in, especially if you want to hear the callers, especially if you want to know what the heck is going on, right? On the ground. And guys, don't forget that viewer discretion is advised. 21 and older. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact check and do your own research. Section 18 U.S. Code, Section 2257 for Mike in the Night. And I just thought I'd put that out there just to cover our bases here. Because do your own research, guys, and you'll figure it out. And, all right, the chat's moving nicely. And Mike of the Night replays are getting a lot of replays, and I'm very happy for that. That a lot of shows are getting replayed, especially the older ones. And I guess the effort over time starts to pay off. All right. Let's go into a quick channel plug, and we are off to some headlines, and we're going to war, right? Just like we've been saying, here comes the war, right? And it's kind of really weird that last month they took down one of my videos. Mellow Stacks, thanks for the super chat, bud. Mellow Stacks just sent me a $4.99 Canadian. Thanks so much for that. You know what's super weird? Last month, and I complained about this on several Mike of the Nights already with you. I already complained about this. They took down one of my videos that I put up back in 2014 that stated they're going to bankrupt you and they're going to take you to war. And then I basically, the video was called, I think, they're going to bankrupt you, then they're going to send you to war. And then in that video, we're talking about, would you go fight for your country? Would you go fight for a country that's completely broken and stripped down and taken over by foreign terrorists, domestic, foreign and domestic, like stuff like that. And we're talking about how they're basically they're going to send our kids to go fight their banker wars and stuff. It's really strange how last month that video got taken down and it was published in 2014. It really makes no sense that they're still taking down my videos today after everything, which is really weird. We are down 2,007 videos, by the way, for the channel count. We are down. They've taken down 2,007 videos. Why? Anyways, let's get into the quick channel plug here. Guys, if you want to support the transmission, go ahead and buy me a coffee. And I want to thank our three coffees we got last week. There's a little coffee thing there. And special shout out to Supreme Cannon. He bought me a coffee yesterday. And YouTube channel, yes. So yes, on a good note, we passed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, but it took us 15 years and 21 YouTube suspensions and 2,007 videos taken down. But we finally made it after all this. They have allowed us to grow and, I guess, get noticed, after all these years. And Facebook, guys, is doing well, alive and well. You can follow us here on Facebook. Facebook is wide open, guys. Facebook is, you can see the A word, the B word, the C word, the D word, the E word, the F word, and Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to give you guys my Instagram if you guys want to go ahead and add me and message me. And the only way to call into the show is through Instagram. So there's my Instagram right there. If you guys want to go ahead and add me, send me a message. I'll check my messages and see if you guys are available. So I'm getting a lot of messages here on TikTok in Chinese and kind of weird, just other. I don't know what these messages are saying, but I'm getting a lot of messages here of people who think they know what's going on. But that's okay, people. A lot of it says that it's held for potential aggression or whatever, right? So we're still on TikTok after 3 suspensions. And guys, don't forget, if you want to watch older episodes of Mike of the Night, we have a majority of the episodes here at mikeofthenight.org. That's mikeofthenight.org if you guys want to check it out. There it is right there, mikeofthenight.org. You can go back and watch and binge watch and see what's going on Mike of the Night. And I did it like you asked. So here's the store, Mike of the Night shop, Teespring. There should be a link in the description or in the channel or wherever you're watching this. I don't know why it's such a big link, but here it is, guys. If you want to go to my Teespring store, I did get in, like you guys asked, a new Mike of the Night mug is there. If you enjoy Mike of the Night enough, and it says I have spoken on this side, and on this side it's just Mike of the Night. I don't know if it looks slightly blurry. I don't know why, but the image is in high definition. So, not sure. It might be a slightly blurred. I don't know. It looks clear to me. Kind of. Not real. I don't know. I'll do another one tomorrow for you guys if you want. But there it is right there, folks. All right, let's get into headlines. Let's get into headlines, ladies and gentlemen. We got people on D Live already, Rumble already, Facebook already, Instagram already. People are flowing through nicely here. And checking out the show here tonight on Mike in the Night. Okay, I'm talking too much. And you know what, guys? Let's get some callers on tonight, guys. Help me out. And help me out. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I need your help once in a while to help carry this cross. Because sometimes it does get a little bit weighted. Sometimes the tension does get to me. Sometimes it just gets to you, right? These things get to you. The situation, your surroundings, right? So, Mike, when was the last time you talked to the Raven? This morning he messaged me. He messaged me this morning. He messaged me this morning and said that they're coming for Merritt, the town I'm in. They're saying it's native land or whatever. So give me back the value of the house. I'll go back to Portugal. That's okay. Because just like all the other African countries that kicked out the people that built the country, they're all crying for them back. You think the Chinaman's going to fix your country when it breaks? You think the Chinaman is going to break a broken pipe in your fucking city? You think the Indian or the Hindu Indian's going to fix is going to fix your country when it breaks? They didn't build shit. How do they know how to fix something when they didn't build it? Oh, they studied it and they know how to repair. Hey. Right there. That's what they're going to fix right there. So the Chinaman and the Hindu, they're not going to fix fuck all in your country. So once the white man that actually built and maintained and serviced the country is gone, and we keep showing you videos on Portuguese Africa before and after. Go look at Angola and go look at Mozambique when the Portuguese were there, after the Portuguese left. Go take a good look at that. Well, good look, because that's what's going to happen to Canada. So they won't refund. That's the point. They take and you pay rent on the band. So now they want to take my house or my land or whatever, and then I got to pay them rent. I'll sell what I could sell for. Because if you guys remember, go back on the channel. In 2016, I bought my house to raise my family. I didn't buy this damn house to make money. I left the city. You guys said I was dumb. You're leaving Vancouver. It's a big power hub. You're crazy. Why are you leaving Vancouver for? Because it's full of Chinese and Indians and everybody. There's no Canadians in Vancouver anymore. What are you going to do in Vancouver? So I got out of Vancouver. Everyone was laughing at me. Then I'm here now. And I've been doing very well because you know why? It costs almost next to nothing to live when you bought at the right time. And you told everyone. I warned everybody. I wasn't the only one to leave my city. I kept telling people, go look at the videos. Leave the city now or you'll regret it by 2020. Go look at the videos. They're up. So I wasn't doing some secret plot and not tell nobody and then take advantage. No, I told you guys, get out of this city go watch my New York. Get out of New York by 2020. Get out of Sydney by 2019. Get out of Auckland. Get out of all these cities. Get out of Vancouver. Get out of Toronto. Get out of Los Angeles. So, yeah, there you go. PDS 10 saying that AI is going to fix the leaky pipes. Yeah. Chinaman! See, Chinaman's smart. Let the Europeans there build the Scotiabank Tower, build everything, and then come in and work in the bank. Nice, clean hands. You don't have to worry about nothing around you because you work in the bank. Right? And then you go outside and see all the homeless Canadian people. You look at them. I was at a hotel with my wife over the weekend in the middle of nowhere. And one of the hotel owners, I'm sitting on the couch filling out a piece of paper, some paperwork I have there to fill out. This guy's walking by, this Chinese man He's got to be in his 50s. Is walking by me, looking at me with the Vancouver glare, going behind the counter and then walking back. And then the next day he proceeded to do the same shit to me and my wife, looking at us like, fuck you. Fuck you. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. And that's why I've been trying to tell Americans, wake the fuck up, America. Canada's your threat, not fucking Iraq. Canada's your threat. And here we are now. The natives work for the CCP, and you are finished living in BC. Yeah, but that's fine. But then I go back to Portugal, but I go back, lock, stock, and two smoking barrels, and I take that country back. Because there's no way we're going to come and build this country, and then after it's built, they tell us to get the fuck out because it's built. But it's going to fucking fall just like fucking Angola and fucking Mozambique. Go look at those countries before. Oh, but that's Africa, Mike. Go look at it before. And then look at it today. And then you tell me. Let me wet my beak here. Yeah. Okay. So, a lot of mixed comments in the. What? That's a good. So someone's asking me something. Someone's emailing me. Okay, guys, I got a lot of stuff rolling in here. So someone's asking me, what did let me just read the comment here. Where'd it go? What did Carney say about native rights on land in BC? What did Carney say on native lands? That's a good question. That's a really good question, actually. I don't remember what he said. I know he said a lot of shit. I know he did my internet go down, guys, again? So they're basically, what he was working towards, from what I remember, was a more of indigenous partnership. And more of shared leadership? I don't know. Let me know, guys. Look it up and let me know. Yep, Nitin, my boy Nitin there in India, saying too many distractions in the world, getting harder to keep the faith. That's exactly. Yeah, I don't know. He's undrip or whatever. I don't. That was before Carney, though. Are we playing Jeopardy? Yeah, that's a good question. All right, let's get to some headlines here real quick. And we're going to be covering mostly the war that's happening. But before we do, I just want to send a shout out. I just want to send a big shout out to my son, Antonio Martins here, who won, his hockey team won a big playoff championship. For U13 here, they won a big playoff championship. He played a big part. He plays both sides. He advances forward, gets in the net, and comes back and defends. And there he is, my boy. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because I feel it's important. Family's important. Family will always be number one for me, right, guys? So just wanted to let you guys know my son did well this weekend, and I'm proud of him. Was I allowed? Yes, I was allowed. Carney investing Canadian pension money in India. Yeah, that was this. They announced that today or yesterday, right? Sean, in the comments. Sean, in the comments. So, all right, let's roll on here. All right, so it's really hard. It's really hard trying to be that channel that says, we told you so every 2 seconds. So, U.S. allied fuel tanker attacked by Iran still burning in the Strait of Hormuz. All right. And 210 tankers and ships anchored outside the Strait of Hormuz experiencing AIS transponder interference. So this is the water right here. These are all anchored right there. Oh, let me go full screen on this for you guys to see. There it is right there, fully anchored right there. And the zoom in image there looks pretty intense. Let's see if I can zoom into this for you. It is right there. Just so you guys could see. And 2 days before a single shot was fired in Iran, we made this. 2 days we made a prediction video before a single shot or anything happened in Iran. Watch this. We made a video called Major Conflict Ahead in the Strait of Hormuz, USA versus Iran versus China. And if markets move, the world feels it, and you know it. My prediction in this one, or what I think the playbook is telling me, major conflict ahead in the Strait of Hormuz. They'll shut things down again, or even a major naval battle to hold control of that position. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. So there it is right there. Just a few days before everything kicked off, we made that video, major conflict ahead in the Strait of Hormuz, and it's happening like we said. It's like the playbook is getting closer and closer. Before, we would predict things, oh, by 2020, people can't afford to buy food. Inflation's going to kick in by 2022. We were making all these way down the road predictions. Now we're predicting within days of things happening now. Because the playbook is so relevant. It's so easy to figure out what they're going to do. And I'm a very low on the pole educated guy when it comes to, I barely finished high school. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out their plan. And it's happening within days and hours of us talking about it. And it's really, really scary how this is coming together. Yeah, everything's accelerating. Iran bombed 9 countries around them. Boom, 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 boom. PDS 10 in the house. Okay, gold is on a high too. Yeah, gold, everything is. We got Dino Bravo in the house. Hopefully he could come on the show, hopefully tonight. Get some callers on the show tonight. People are asking for the Raven. I have, I mean, he just sends me messages from time to time. And, okay, I'm just looking at people sending me messages here. And try and make sense of who's sending me messages here for tonight's show. We're going to try to get some callers in. Hopefully we can get a few first-time callers on Mike in the Night here. I love first-time callers and hearing new voices and what people have going on. All right, let's go. Here we go. All right. France to increase nuclear warheads, lend nuclear aircraft to Europe allies. Macron, this piece of shit. You know, since 2017, we've been on this guy's ass. How the fuck is this guy in power? This guy had 70, 80, 90 weeks of fucking yellow vest movements in his fucking country where nobody wanted this piece of shit. And they pulled the trigger on a pandemic and they shut it all down. And look at it today. He's still fucking there. Watch our video, our Mike in the Night from 2017, Macron Forever. There's a video, Mike in the Night. It's called Macron Forever. It's on our YouTube channel. Go watch the 2017 Macron Forever, Mike in the Night. So, yeah. You see, the problem is these people shouldn't even be there. Nobody wants these people in power. It's kind of like Trudeau. And Gulf states intercept more than 1,500 Iranian missiles and drones in unprecedented defense. And Iran launched a massive retaliatory missile and a drone barrage against 5 Gulf nations hosting U.S. bases. Gulf states successfully intercepted more than 1,500 projectiles, but suffered civilian casualties and damage. The attacks deliberately targeted Gulf nations to raise the cost of hosting U.S. military forces. The strikes shattered the region's reputation on a stable oasis for global trade and investment. And Gulf leaders now face impossible choice between retaliating or appearing passive amid direct warfare. And Iran demands international action after attacks impact hospitals and schools. Hospitals across Iran have been damaged by U.S. Israeli strikes, but no reports of direct hits yet. So it looks like quite a bit of infrastructure damage you're seeing here. And authorities in Tehran have called for international action and solidarity for several hospitals and schools were impacted by U.S. and Israeli airstrikes on the country as Iran continues to fire missiles and drones across the region. And remember this piece of shit, Zelensky? The guy that started the war with Russia kept poking the bear. Remember this piece of shit laundering money? Remember this guy with Hunter Biden? When Hunter, the Hunter Biden the Burisma scandal? When that, what's that idiot? Joe Biden was president? Remember when Hunter Biden, the Burisma says, oh, we got information on your son. Send us another $1 billion. Send us more billions. Send us more billions. So we made a video back that got banned. That got us banned and got us suspended from YouTube. That the Biden family was held hostage by Ukraine and Zelensky to send more money or Hunter Biden's going to go to jail. And Americans paid through the nose to this piece of shit. So there you go right there. So like this, more rounds, more attention. You suck. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants you around. And Iran, war spells danger for global airlines. Yes. And this is the news. Story is out of New Zealand. Air routes closed, airports damaged, and hundreds of thousands of passengers stranded. The new war in the Middle East has again highlighted the global aviation sector's vulnerability and geopolitical upheaval. So we predicted this war back in 2022. The video's up. I'll find it for you guys later. I'll play a little clip for you guys. They're going to go all over the place in the Middle East. They're going to bomb the shit out of everything. And they're going to sanction Canada. In that video, I saw the video from 20. If Trump gets back in, he's going to sanction the shit out of Canada because Canada's been bad. The Canadian government's been working with China, and there's several hundred groups or several hundred organizations in Canada that are Chinese run. Yeah. They're tied to MAID, assisted suicide, and they're tied to the Indian migrant centers to bring in people from India to keep the housing market up because the Canadians can't afford housing in their own country. Woo! So, all right, let's keep going. Gas prices spike amid fears of Middle East supply shock. European benchmarks have leaped 50% as fighting increases shipping risk through the crucial Strait of Hormuz. Gas markets around the world were rattled on Monday, with benchmark European natural gas prices rising sharply and broader energy markets on the edge of Middle East tensions. So I told you guys a few weeks back to look at Crescent Point. We don't give financial. Remember, this is all fantasy, this show. None of this is real. So we told you 4 or 5 weeks ago to buy Crescent Point, Athabasca oil if you're in Canada. Crescent Point, Athabasca. What was the other one? What was the other one I said? Baytex. So we told you guys 4 or 5 weeks ago to buy that, and it's been going up since then. European benchmark gas futures surged around 50%, their biggest single-day move since March 2022 after LNG tankers largely stopped transiting the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway between Iran and Oman that carries about the fifth of the global oil and gas. All right, let's keep going. Qatar drowns 2 Iranian fighter jets as conflict widens. Qatari Defense Ministry Also says 7 ballistic missiles and 5 drones fired by Iran were intercepted. So other countries putting up their walls or their grids or their protection outfits. Moscow warns of worrying NATO buildup in the Arctic. The bloc has hindered Russians' operations in the Spitsbergen archipelago, the Russian envoy to Norway has said. NATO is attempting to curb Russia's freedom of navigation in the Arctic, Moscow's ambassador to Norway has said. In the interview on Monday, Korchkov argued that Norway was seeking to squeeze Moscow out of the Spitsbergen archipelago, where Russia, the only country besides Norway to have carried out economic activity here for decades, has no intention in scaling back its operations. And unlike US, Iran prepared for a long war, says security chief. So, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, Ali Larain, whatever, says Iran did not initiate the current war, but it remains fully prepared to sustain a long-term conflict, unlike the United States. So basically, they're you want it in a nutshell? I'll tell you guys, America will not win this war against Iran. It's not designed to win this war. It's just to go in there, rattle a few cages, do a little bit of damage, boost up the oil pricing, start making it impossible for people to eat, right? Because remember back in 2010, we were making videos back in 2010. We were making videos on how the price of oil was collapsing to $20 a barrel, but the price of food kept going up. But for decades, they were telling us, well, if the price of oil goes up, your food's going to cost more to make and transport and produce and all that stuff. Price of oil goes to $20 a barrel, price of food doubles. Videos are up if you want to watch them. Type in price of oil dropped, my food still goes up. What the fuck? So there it is right there. Israel intensifies war on Lebanon after Hezbollah attack. And that's very, 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 very happening right now. So 2:30 a.m., Nader Hanin Akli was awoken by Israeli attacks. And you're seeing it here. And jihad is coming. What's Khamenei's death means for the region and the world. Eliminating the supreme leader doesn't end the conflict. It transforms it into a matter of principle and raises the odds of a Middle East war. And that goes into that little video we talked about, that live stream we did. How is this thing going to engulf? Is it going to be regional? Is it going to go into far and wide? Is it going to be limited? Like, what's going to happen? Are they going to go to the peace table in a couple of hours? What's going to happen, right? So Trump says Iran war projected to last at least 4 to 5 weeks, could go far longer. In the latest statement, Trump says U.S. was very nearly under threat from Iran, drawing imminency of attacks into question. They've been up Iraq's butt for Iran's butt, and Iraq and Afghanistan, all these countries. Again, remember, if you have a hammer and every problem is a nail, what do? Right? So if you guys remember that video there. So that's what's happening there. And missile sirens will never stop in Israel-occupied territories, Iran warns. And Central Headquarters for the Iranian Armed Forces has warned that missile sirens will not stop in the occupied territories as retaliatory strikes against Israel targets continue unabated, issuing an evacuation order for settlers. And Trump, large-scale combat operations in Iran, gives it 4 to 5 week timeline, so we got multiples there. This could spark the largest regional war yet. Russian analysis on the Iran strikes. And if you go back to here, I think it was 2023 prediction, or let's type in predict. It was a very good video I made here for you guys. Lots of prediction videos. So there's hundreds of Mike of the Nights. Hundreds of prediction shows and prediction call-ins, and there it is. There's Israel war prediction. That's the Israel war prediction that we made. When was this? 2023. Okay. Israel war prediction. There's one down here, right here. There's another one right here. Beware, this one. This was on November 4th, Mike in the Night, 5:31. And I'm going to go over my predictions for 2024. And I'm going to do some 2025 stuff too. And stuff is going to leak into 2026. Back to previous short videos we've made in the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And kind of branching them out and seeing and connecting the dots to see how they kind of work out. And every video, every prediction that's being made in this video today, I want to make this really clear, is tied to a video we already made. We already made a video about this stuff. And that's how I said I cheated. I kind of looked at what we were saying before, kind of try to make sense, maybe push. Israel's war in Gaza will escalate into regional conflict involving Hezbollah and Lebanon, Iranian-backed militias in Syria and Iraq, and direct tensions with Iran. Now, if Trump, remember what we said, if Trump is allowed to be elected, he will work hand in hand to back Israel and expand that war. Gaza may be an American state or an overseas territory, right? Keep that in mind. And they will end the Ukraine war by the spring, summer of 2025. That's, again, if Trump is allowed to become president, right? And because that is Ukraine is a money laundering system for the Democrats. You guys know that. And there's a video tied to this already. Number 2, another big one, global housing market collapse, right? And this channel's tied close to that, right? Starting in, let's say, spring, summer 2024, we're going to have a major housing correction, right? I think by late 2024, the housing market in Canada, Australia, and the UK will experience massive corrections, 30 to 60% in some cities, due to sustained high interest rates. And we keep telling you guys, they're going to have to keep moving rates up. They have no choice. And why many mortgage holders in Canada, Australia, and the UK are locked into 5-year fixed or variable rate set to renew in 2024 and 2025. Back in 2020, we were making these videos already that people are locking into these low interest rates, and they're going to pay for it in the future, and at double or triple the original rate. So there it is. And I believe that money laundering from China will be non-existent by the end of 2024 into 2025. But cities will still face this Chinese fentanyl wars will be a major problem. These Chinese fentanyl wars. Let's go into China. Moves on Taiwan. That's number 3. Between late 2024 and mid-2025, China will increase military activity around Taiwan in mid to late 2024, possibly enforcing a naval blockade rather than full invasion to choke Taiwan's economy, except economic warfare. With semiconductor shortages, check our semiconductor shortage wars, video we made already, and major cyber attacks by the summer of 2025. Okay, let's go number 4. U.S. 2024 election chaos leads to civil unrest. Now, I've been saying... So, guys, there it is right there if you guys want to watch it. Some pretty good stuff there. And we've been telling you guys about the whole sanctions thing, and the sanctioning is going to come up. And the Trump's going to sanction everything he can and basically go against Canada because Canada's been bad. Canada's been bad to its people. Instead of helping its people, it's offering the veterans and the people that built this country assisted suicide. It only investigates money laundering for Canadian citizens. The money laundering isn't for Chinese that bring in their dirty money, right? So it's been a war against the Canadian proper or the European expansion, right? So Robert Graham says, I'm in Mexico gaining 8% interest on my money. Anyone keeping money in Canada is delusional. That's correct, Robert Graham. This was trends in the housing market in 2015, 2016. We were looking at percentages that banks in Costa Rica, Panama, Mexico, Philippines, all different banks around the world and what they were paying on interest, percentage-wise, depending on how long. We were looking at actual basic bank accounts with a high yield return. Your money's not locked in. You're not locked into some bullshit scam. You put your money in the bank. It's there if you need it. But it's paying you 6, 7, 8, 9%, right? We did a show. I'm gonna go dig up that show for you guys. I'm gonna see if I can rehash that show because that was an important one because I did a lot of research on that show, right? Anyways, okay, what's going on, people? It's 3 a.m. and something's moving you. You're tuned into Mike in the Night. So let's get you guys, message me right now. Start messaging me right now on the Instagram and let me know if you guys want to come on the show. And give us an update on what's going on. I would like to hear from you guys, right? I like to hear from you guys and see what's going on. But a couple of people just messaged me here. Not sure if they're just messaging for spam purposes, or they're watching the show, or what's going on. But yeah, you are tuned in to Mike in the Night, 639, folks. Let me see if I could get our first caller here. Guys, start messaging me on Instagram right now. And let's see if we can get some callers on here. On Mike in the Night, 639. Let's talk about this war. Let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about what is going on Mike in the Night.
It's 3 a.m. in a one-stop town. Neon buzz and the world shut down. Coffee's cold, but the mic's still warm. There's a storm outside and another reform. Headlights roll down Highway 8. Folks still talking about the state of the state. Bills go up, paychecks thin. Feels like a house always wins. But there's a voice on the air tonight, cutting through that pale moonlight. Mike in the Night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a county sign. You can run, you can hide, you can close your eyes, but you feel that moving deep inside. At 3 a.m. when the silence is broken, old guitar and the truth outspoken. No teleprompter, no token, just a man saying I have spoken. Small town farmers, city trees.
Yo.
Hey, what's up? Let me just turn down my television here.
Are you watching Mike in the Night on TV?
Oh, I can cast it onto my TV.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on, buddy. You're live on Mike in the Night, 639. You messaged me, says you got something important to add.
Well, I got a few things. First, I want to say congratulations to your son for being on the winning team.
Yep. He played hard. They played hard, so they deserved it.
And I want to say congratulations to the men's USA team for winning the gold medal.
Woo!
Because, I really wasn't ready for Canada to be all happy about winning and going on about how fucking great they are. It would have been too hard to handle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, just to talk hockey for a minute, that one guy, Jack Hughes, who scored the game-winning goal, he got his teeth smashed out, came back and won the gold medal in overtime.
Nice.
So
That's
that
a way to show.
awesome.
That's a great way to show a vengeance, buddy.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk about is, do you know how they say that when the people came to North America and all of the native people died of disease?
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah, I got history books published several hundred years ago that's actually bullshit.
I believe that's bullshit, and it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. And I'll go into detail about it, but first off, you know how they're talking these days about how we're having declining birth rates?
Yep.
So if birth rates are going down to, like, if everyone's only having one child, in 50 or 60 years, all your people are going to be gone.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so what I think really happened to the natives was, it wasn't they all died from smallpox. I think that the stress of all the people coming to America caused them to have their birth rates go down.
Well, it's not only that. They were nomads. A lot of them were just roaming around. There was no country here when the Europeans came. There wasn't a nation. There was
Okay,
no
so
there was no highways. There was no trade. The Europeans started the trade with the natives that were here. And the Europeans didn't bring the booze over too. They had booze because they've always had booze in Europe. But according to some of the history books, and I read one of the history books on the channel, the video's up, it was the tribe there in New England that was offering booze to the settlers that were coming in. So there's a lot of bullshit. Imagine, okay, think of it like this. Look at the bullshit around this, and they're lying to us right to our faces, and you're seeing it in front of you and saying, you guys are fucking liars. Imagine back in the day when there was very little exposure to anything, and everything's word of mouth. Imagine how much bullshit was being spilled back then.
well, like when the people went to India, I don't think everyone in India died of smallpox. When people went to Africa, I don't think all the Africans died of smallpox.
Nope, the
I think
Portuguese
when they
were there
showed
first.
up in Japan.
The Portuguese mapped all that shit up before anyone in Europe even knew it was there. They went to India, they went to Goa, they went everywhere. They went to all the way out to Macau, to Portuguese China, to Nagasaki. The Portuguese built an outpost out there in the 1580 something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there was no, continue. Go ahead. You're bringing up good points here.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, I've been kind of working on writing a book or a lecture about the ongoing battle between the anti-vaxxers and the vaccine enthusiasts, and the psychology of these two different groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, basically, one reason I like watching your show, Mike, is because you're a BC guy. And, you know, there's so much shit on the internet. So at least the people who are from BC, I can sort of feel like I can sort of relate to them, and I can sort of maybe gauge, like, who's full of shit and who's not, right? So a couple of years ago, there's another guy that has a podcast. This is a little plug for his channel. His name is Steve Eyes. He's a guy from Vancouver who grew up in Richmond, who is originally from Iraq or Iran, and now he's here. Interesting guy. Anyway, he has a show on that's called Eyes. What's the show called again? It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, so this guy comes to town, and he's a friend of a mutual friend of mine. So I get invited over to her house, and I meet this guy. And he's telling us about, you know, how he's got this brother who's this really brilliant guy. And when he started talking about 9/11, his brother he said that his brother was the kind of guy that aces all of his classes in engineering. He's like a total brainiac in UBC. He's like a super brilliant engineer. And he said when his brother started looking at all the 9/11 stuff, he started believing, like, this doesn't make sense. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he starts telling us that. And then at one point he says to us, viruses aren't real. And now in 2026, everyone has heard this virus, no virus theory, right? But it was the first time that I'd heard.
Don Merlo came on Mike in the Night in 2019 and broke this down to us in a 1.5 hour show. Broke this down. Viruses don't exist. Actually went through it step by step and broke it down scientifically. Gave us slides, gave us pictures. Yeah, we covered this. This is 2019. You can look up the Mike in the Night. It's up.
So my first introduction to it was in 2020. Was almost 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, well, what do you mean viruses aren't real? And he said, well, you know, people are pack animals originally. In the old days, we all lived in groups, right? And he suggested, you know, that if someone in the, you know, we're talking like caveman days, you know, if someone in the caveman group went out and ate something or injected something that was kind of poisonous, they would start to, you know, throw up or get sick or have a cold or whatever. And all the other people in the pack would sort of get like a placebo effect from this. And it would just be like a natural thing for everyone to sort of start detoxing at the same time. Right? And I can tell you for a fact that if I was to walk outside and see a dead body on the street, I would throw up.
Really?
I would get sick to my stomach. I think a lot of people, if they something really traumatic, like, they would get sick. Not everyone. I know I would.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be throwing up not because I was sick. I would be throwing up because I saw something psychologically that affected me. Okay. So your brain can make you sick is the point of that observation, right?
Well, my dad used to have a saying in Portuguese. Let me see if I can translate it to English. Cisma pior de... He used to say, a cisma a pior de doença. A cisma a pior de doença means your mind games that you play or your thinking of you being sick is actually worse than the sickness itself.
Yes. And so another example is yawning. You know how like when someone yawns and like everyone else starts yawning?
Mm-hmm. It's like contagious yawning.
It's like a psychological thing though, right? Like yawning isn't a sickness. right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started thinking, okay, well, that's kind of an interesting point. And so I started learning a little bit about it. And then I got taken down the path of learning about viruses and how they can't be isolated and they can't really prove viral theory. One guy describes it as the viral theory is they have a low fidelity understanding of how it works, if it's
Mm-hmm.
real at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, okay, so as I've started learning more and more about this, I'm like, well, if viruses aren't real, then smallpox isn't real, or whatever smallpox is, they don't completely understand how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this whole like vaccine shit that we go through, they always go back to they talk about smallpox, and smallpox was the beginning of the whole like forced vaccination thing back in the day, where they would scrape your scab and rub it on someone else, and they called it what was the word for it? Variolation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the word vaccine came to where that progressed to where they were taking they had like milkmaids in France, and for some reason they were getting smallpox, and they thought because they were milking the cows, something about contact with the cows gave them immunity to smallpox or chickenpox. And then so they were rubbing the cow stuff on their hands, and because the word cow is vaca in Latin and Spanish and probably in Portuguese, the word vaccine comes from cow,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And so that's like part of the history of it all. And so I've been wondering for the longest time, like, okay, well, like if this smallpox thing isn't real or they don't fully understand it, this whole thing that they came over to the new world and everyone died from smallpox, I'm like, I don't think that's true.
You know, again, I collect history books published pre 1830, pre 1850, and I've been scouring these books in depth, history books, these history books. I found one that was published in I think it was 1774, the one I made a video of for you guys, and I couldn't find anything about smallpox or sicknesses being brought over by the white man. I couldn't find anything about it. I couldn't find a damn thing on it. I found things that, you know, the average person or whatever, you know, would get sick or whatever, but I couldn't find nothing on that.
So, like in 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue,
Yep.
came across to North America, and when he came here, he encountered the people that lived here. But the
Mm-hmm.
people that lived here didn't have any written records. So they have no idea of knowing if there was smallpox here before they got there or not. How the fuck would they know?
They wouldn't. They have
They
no written
wouldn't.
records of that stuff. It's all bullshit, and that's why this digital book burning is becoming more and more prevalent. And they're now they're changing history right in front of your eyes.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
Did you see my Columbus? Did you watch? I kept asking you last time. Watch my Columbus video, the truth about Columbus. Did you end up watching that video?
I'll have to put it on my list. But I always thought it was funny that we call him Columbus, but in South America they call him Cologne. Why is that?
Well, again, if you watch my Columbus video documentary I made, it actually explains it in depth. It explains that question you just asked me. It explains everything you need to know about Columbus and who he worked for and what his deal was. So, guys, if you want to go to the channel here, go to here, go to Erased History, Columbus, History of Columbus, right here, Columbus, Cologne. It just right there came up, right there. It just said Cologne right there. Christopher Cologne, there it is right there. So I'm going to give you guys a link to this video. And go ahead and watch this after Mike of the Night so you guys can see what the hell, what Buddy is talking about here, what the caller is talking about, and what I'm talking about. It all comes out. They're changing history. They're changing it. They're purposefully changing things on purpose to rewrite the future, basically. Go ahead.
So yesterday was a nice sunny day out here on the coast. And so since I'm not really working much, I was down the beach with my buddy. We sit down there and we talk about stuff. Beautiful day. And I discovered this guy called Jack Cruz. You may have heard about.
I don't
He's a
know
guy-
I don't know other content creators. They don't contact me. I've been here 15 years. No one contacts me, so I don't
This
really
guy-
know.
This guy's on a contract. He's not like a YouTube guy or anything, but he's a guy that was a neurosurgeon who ended up becoming a researcher, and he goes on a few podcasts and he talks about stuff, and he's talking about SV40. And so everyone's heard of SV40, right? You've heard of SV40.
Mm-hmm.
SV40, simian virus 40.
No, break it down. Go ahead.
Okay, well, they say that inside the vaccine they've discovered SV40 and it's a tumor promoter, and a lot of these reasons that people are getting cancers because there's SV40 in it. Are you familiar with that term?
If I have to, I can look it up. I can see if we brought it up. Continue.
Okay, so what is SV40? SV40 stands for simian virus.
We
40.
covered this. I heard of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So what's in a name, right? So when they were originally doing viral isolation back in the polio days, when they were getting to make the Salk vaccine, when they were doing this viral isolation mumbo jumbo fucking shit they're doing, everything they were doing was growing them on green monkey kidney cells, also known as Reese monkeys. And all of the viral isolation they say they're doing now, they're always using green monkey kidney cells. I don't fucking know why.
Mm-hmm.
But SV40 means simian virus, simian meaning monkey, referring specifically to these green monkeys.
And they even claimed that 30 million people may have received doses exposed to this SV40 thing.
So the thing that I'm like, when this Jack Cruz guy starts talking about SV40 and all this stuff, I'm going, this guy's just another fucking bullshit artist talking all this crap. He's like another one of these, paid fucking guys that, that goes on these podcasts and says this kind of like information to control the whole narrative. But I'm looking at the guy going like, but somehow I feel like this guy's legit. So I started thinking like, why is it called simian virus 40 if back in 1956 it was the early days of like viral theory and they haven't even discovered DNA yet until 1960, I don't believe. Mm-hmm. And so what I came to believe is like simian SV40 is actually a misnomer. I think at the time, like back in the days, a virus just meant a poison. And for some reason, they came up with the name of simian virus 40. But at the time, they didn't have an understanding of virology at this time, right? So I'm at the beach talking to my buddy. I'm like, what the fuck is SV40? And so we're trying to figure it out. And I'm like, yeah, man, like if viruses aren't real and shit, because we always talk about stuff, like I live in an area with like a lot of indigenous people. So we talk about a lot of that whole thing. And I'm like, I don't think that all the natives fucking died of this fucking virus that they can't even prove. But
yeah, because smallpox started appearing in history books, and the Spanish smallpox started appearing 20 to 30 years after it supposedly happened. So I know what you're talking about. So if you go back to specific and try to find that timeline and gauge it through proper books and texts, you can't find anything on it when it happened. It was only reported and recorded 20 to 30 years after smallpox.
So I got to try and abbreviate this just to stick to the point, right? So like there's no infection that kills everybody. Mm-hmm. Right? Like when someone gets like, not everyone gets killed by smallpox. Not everyone gets killed by the flu. Not everyone gets killed by measles. Not everyone gets killed by malaria. The only people who die, tuberculosis, etc., the people who die from these diseases are people with weakened constitutions. Mm-hmm. Right? Any doctor understands that a person with a weakened constitution is not going to survive something as well as a person who is perfectly healthy, well-nourished, and well-rested and all that kind of stuff, right? And so we're like, okay, so imagine you're like an indigenous person living in wherever, Dominican Republic or New England. When these people showed up, you got these people who show up with guns and horses, and they're coming and they're attacking you. Imagine the women. They must have been like, the men were probably really strong warriors, right? Who were able to, survive some stress and stuff because they're warriors, right? They're tough motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And everyone understands if you become under extreme stress or extreme anxiety, that's going to weaken your system. If you start losing sleep and you're like running away and you can't get your proper nutrition and stuff, that's going to basically cause the women to not be able to have as many children.
Right. And the birth rates go down. Yeah.
The birth rates are going to go down. So lately everyone's talking about like birth replacement rates. They say that you have to have a 2.1 birth rate. Mm-hmm. Like in China. They're only having one kid. If you're only having one kid, your population is going to collapse. Right? And so here in Canada, the birth rates are lower than the death. The death rates are higher than birth rates in British Columbia right now. I think the birth rates for women in BC is officially 1 per woman as opposed to 2.1, which you need. This is why we're bringing all these people in, because if we don't bring people into Canada, our populations are going to collapse because...
Again, this was designed to purposefully wipe out the European expansion. They needed the Europeans to come and build the infrastructure. Without the Europeans, you won't have highways, running water, electricity. You won't have anything. They needed us to build it, then in turn to bring in others. So what did they do to wipe us out? So no one's going to come, think about this logically. No one's going to come to this country and build it and not allowed, and then not have a family and not be able to raise a family and lay roots and stuff. So they were given, a lot of Europeans were given the hey, come and raise a family. We're giving out free land. Back at the time, Canada was giving out free land. Come on over, work it. We need support. Let's have children. Let's grow this country, right? That after it was built, they don't need us no more. So they're engineering it in a way so the average Canadian, the average Canadian is going to have kids when they can't even afford to eat. So how are they going to have kids?
Well, I've got some good news. In my tiny little Vancouver Island town, my next door neighbor, they have 3 kids. My neighbor next door, they have 2 kids. My neighbor next door, they have 2 kids. My other neighbor next door has 1. The other neighbor, I don't know. The other neighbor has 3 kids. There's a lot of kids in this neighborhood. People here are making kids.
Are they Canadians, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
These are all Canadians, yeah, they're all Canadians. And so at least, it's not all doom and gloom in my little small town out here. Like, we're 2 hours away from the closest red light in Port Alberni.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. And so what I realized yesterday as I'm talking to my buddy is that is why all the indigenous people disappeared. Their birth rate collapsed and then they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. It wasn't fucking smallpox. It was collapsing birth rate because of stress.
Yep. Well, you got to remember that the natives were roaming the land, right? They didn't set up any, the natives were trading. Yeah, they were trading with the Europeans, right? Oh, but they were trading amongst. No, they were ripping each other apart is what they were doing.
So anyway, it was just so amazing because I've been wondering about this for a couple of years. Ever since I met this guy, it's like, well, if fucking smallpox is bullshit and they can't prove any of this stuff, then why did all the natives die? It's because their birth rates collapsed. Their birth rates collapsed and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I finally figured out. So all the listeners out there, next time someone's ever bringing up, you hear this thing about, these travelers brought disease that killed people. You say, no, whatever happened, these people came, caused a big disruption, their birth rates collapsed, and that's why they died. They didn't die because of disease. They died because of collapsing. They disappeared because of collapsing birth rates.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my buddy were like, dude, we're fucking geniuses. We finally figured it out. So I wanted to call that in.
Yeah, no worries,
Another
buddy.
thing that I wanted to talk about was the Human Rights Commission. You heard about that guy that got the $750,000 fine for saying there's only 2 genders?
Yeah, but there is.
Yeah. So humanrights.ca, what's in a name, Mike? You know how they have Antifa?
Yeah.
You'll see these people who are like, well, I'm an anti-fascist. I hate fascists. And they're like, well, being against fascism kind of sounds good, but Antifa are left-wing fucking psychos.
That's right. Chaz.
But the name sounds good.
Chaz.
On the flip side, MAGA, Make America Great Again. Well, that sounds pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're a bunch of fascist, white supremacists, whatever. They're not, but what's in a name?
Mm-hmm.
So here in BC, we have the Human Rights Commission. But what it should really be called is the Protected Class Enforcement Agency.
Funded by your tax dollars.
Yeah, she makes $300,000 a year, the fucking head chick.
$300.
And as I mentioned before, I had lost this
Is she even Canadian?
No, her name's fucking Govinda something. Her dad, her dad was an Indian guy from South Africa who lived through apartheid, and her mom is this woman who works with battered women.
300 large.
Yeah, and so, she's got the great social justice warrior. Her mom works with battered women, and her dad was persecuted in South Africa. And now she's got this great job for $300,000 a year, and this poor guy in the Chilliwack school trustee who got voted in, who's been run through the ringer. They finally came down and said he's got to pay a fine of $750,000.
Yep.
They tried to pass a vote in the BC legislature last week where can't remember the name. It's not Dallas Brody, but the other one. They came out and she said, we want to make a vote to get rid of the Human Rights Commission. And they voted it down 50 to 37. And I'm like, wow, 37 people in legislature voted to get rid of it. That is a fucking positive sign, Mike.
But it shouldn't even be put in place in the first place.
I know, but it's already in, and I could.
I hate these bullshit when we have these victories. Oh my God, What's that fucking idiot's name? Zuckerberg is removing the tampons out of men's bathrooms. Who gives a fuck? He's moving tampons. Why was it there in the first fucking place? Fuck you. This is no fucking victory.
Well, I don't think I mentioned this on the last show, but here's the history of the Human Rights Commission in BC. So whenever I think about BC, I always like to look what's going on in Alberta and in Washington. So in Alberta, they've had some sort of human rights body for quite a while. And in Washington State, they've also had some sort of human rights body for quite a while. But in BC, we only got it like in 1996 for some reason. And then in 2003, Gordon Campbell's government like defunded it because like, why are we spending money on this? And then in 2019, when the NDP came in, they brought it back.
Fuckers.
Hired this lady to be the commissioner. She gets $300,000 a year, and they have a budget of $8 million a year, which isn't really that much. But anyone who watches YouTube, you'll see that all these fucking humanrights.ca commercials keep coming up talking about how to understand misinformation on the internet. I've seen this commercial like 1,000 fucking times. There's this cheesy song. I'm sure everyone's seen it. And I'm like, what does human rights have to do with misinformation on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking nuts. And you know one thing I realized, Mike, is the Cultural Revolution in China?
Yes.
That's what they're doing here. They're trying to push the Cultural Revolution on us. It's not going to work, but that's what they're doing.
It won't.
It's not going to work. So I told you how I lost this job and I was all upset. Well, there's a bit of development on that. The guy that fired me, it turns out in BC, if you fire someone and you don't pay them out within 48 hours,
yeah,
that's a violation of the BC Employment Code.
Yeah, but you're white. They won't apply it. They won't do anything for you.
Oh, in this case, it doesn't matter. Like, basically, he didn't pay me within 48 hours, so there's no defense. He's like, did you pay him within 48 hours? We didn't. So there's no defense. And so if I was to make a complaint, there's no way that he can win, right? And so what I did was I phoned an immigration lawyer, and I pretended that I was the guy that fired me. And I said, hey, yeah, I fired this guy, and I didn't pay him out. And then I found out that I have to, and I'm kind of worried that he's going to do something. And I was like, what should I do? And the lady on the phone, the employment lady, she's like, well, don't panic.
Was she Canadian?
I don't even think she was, to be honest. Or I don't know. Actually, she might have been, but I don't think she may have an accent. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But so basically, she said, "Well, don't panic." She said, "You need to negotiate with him." And she asked, like, "Has he made a complaint yet?" And he's like, "Well, I don't think so." And then she said, "Okay, well, don't panic, but you need to negotiate with him before he makes a complaint." And I'm thinking, like, oh, I'm sort of rubbing my hands together, going, "Oh, nice, I can sort of get a bit of retribution here." And then she said, "Well, how long has he worked for you?" And I said, "Well, it's been 4 years." And she said, "Ooh, yeah, you need to negotiate with him really quickly before he makes a complaint." Mm-hmm. So I had a meeting with the guy, and I basically kind of threatened him, and I ended up getting 8 weeks severance.
Good for you.
And so that was kind of cool. So anyone out there who get fired for some bullshit and they don't pay in 48 hours,
I'm a friend of Sarah Connor.
Can get a bit of rendition. Mm-hmm. And the last thing I want to talk about, Mike, is we've all read 1994, right?
1984.
Yeah, in 1984.
I read it in grade 10.
Yeah, you know how they talk about newspeak?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so you're familiar with the word ableist?
Yeah, I've heard it, yes.
When's the first time you heard that word?
Ableist. I can't recall. I really don't know.
Recently, right?
It must have been recently, within the last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's like these people are immunocompromised. They don't care about me. COVID's out there, and they're ableists.
Oh, yes. Yes. Like when that reminds me, that ableist reminds me of when Hillary Clinton brought up that word alt-right. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's a relatively new word, too. I've never heard it until maybe 10 years ago.
You don't remember alt-right in 2018, 2019 when
Oh, no, I do.
Yeah.
But it's a new word.
Yeah, alt-right. Yeah, continue.
And so I was always like ableist. I'm like, well, you know what? I've like looked after my health like my whole life. And if somehow I'm like a bad person now because I've looked after my health my whole life, right? I'm like an ableist now because I'm healthy and someone else isn't. It's kind of like when they call you a cisgender person.
What the fuck is that shit? Continue.
It's some newspeak bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. So I sort of made an analogy with like the Three Little Pigs. So we all know the story of the Three Little Pigs, at least everyone who's Canadian or, from North America. This pig builds his house out of straw. Mm-hmm.
And then the wolf comes up and he huffs and he puffs and he blows his shitty ass fucking straw house down.
That's right.
Let's say COVID came and just fucking blew his shit down because that guy was just an unhealthy dumb fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So he ran over to his brother's house, and the two little pigs were inside the house made out of stick. They thought that'd be a bit better. There's two of them in their little stick house. But what happened? The wolf came along and he huffed and he puffed and he blew that stick house down.
Mm-hmm.
And so what did the two pigs do? They ran over to the other piggy's house. And what did the pig build his house out of?
Was straw, then wood, and then brick, right?
Yes. The guy who builds his house out of brick, Mike, he's the ableist.
Mm-hmm.
Why? In my particular case, my whole life, I've eaten well, I've exercised, I've, avoided excess and stuff. I've looked after my health. People say to me, I'm 55, they go, wow, you look great, man. And I'm like, yeah, man, I built my house out of brick. That's what I would start saying. I've done so much work to build my body as strong as possible to resist disease or whatever, and I'm a bad person. That's the ableist.
Yep,
that's the way to.
So if you, no. It's like there was one thing about people that would buy the right stocks at the right time because they're watching the current events, and then they would buy stocks. Like 5-6 weeks back, I bought some quite a bit of oil stock because I knew we were going to go to war. It's time to go to war, and I saw it. I saw the patterns, and I told a few people about that, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you're just doing this because you want to profiteer from war and profiteer." I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? If we go to war, oil goes up, gold goes up, things go up, commodity. If you're not following it, I'm not the fucking enemy trying to fund a war. I'm trying to feed my family. But just like the guy that built the house out of brick is the ableist. The guy that takes care of himself is the ableist. The guy that goes to the gym to make sure he doesn't get ball cancer is the ableist.
But the ableist is a bad person. That person is demonized.
Of course they're demonized.
If you're sick
because they did the white thing.
That's not my fault, man. That shit's not my fault. That's your fault. That's your shit. You want me to fucking change my lifestyle because you're a weak fuck? That's your shit. Fuck
you're doing
you. I'm an
the
ableist
white
and I'm going to
thing.
own it. Anyway, a little heated there. And so right now we've got used to be the trends in the housing market guy. As you see, all the fucking house prices in Vancouver are starting to go down and down and down and down. All these fucking morons who bought their house at the peak are now all fucked.
Are you talking about our show Trends in the Housing Market we did for 4 years?
Yeah, well, there's another guy now who has a show called Market Watch, and he has a similar show, and he talks about all this stuff. Yeah, and so, yeah, man, the fucking ableist. Don't let anyone tell you you're a fucking ableist. That's fucking bullshit. You say, I built my house out of brick, and you can just fuck right off. Try and blow it down. It's not going to work. Mm-hmm. Fuck you. If you're sick, that's your problem. I mean, I have sympathy, but I'm not. Empathy is my weak point. Sympathy, yes. Empathy, that's a bit harder.
Right.
And last but not least, Mike, there's this fucking tool in my town who's been riding around with a giant Ukrainian flag on the back of his bike for like the last 4 years.
Doesn't he know that fucking Ukraine started that war with Russia? And people are saying you're pro-Russian. I'm not pro-fuck all. Don't fucking take sides. Huh?
I don't talk to the guy because he's a fucking nut job, and if I said something, he might fucking punch me in the face. So whatever.
Dude, there's a fucking guy that walks around my town with a picture of Putin on his front, and it says "fuck Putin" in big red letters.
So this guy, I'm Ukrainian. I don't know if I told you before. I'm Ukrainian. My dad's parents survived World War II, came over here, and I'm like a Ukrainian guy. I got strong feelings on the Ukrainian war. My personal opinion is they should have surrendered a long fucking time ago because they can't win, and now everyone's dead. For what? Mm-hmm. I know the guy's girlfriend. I'm talking to her the other day, and I go, hey, is he Ukrainian? Guess what, Mike? He's not.
Is he Chinese?
No, he's probably fucking Jewish. He's some fucking bald dork. No offense. No offense to you, but you're not a fucking dork, okay? When I found out this guy wasn't Ukrainian, man, I was like, holy fuck. I'm going to get the courage to walk up to him and say, you know what, man? I've got 4 cousins who got conscripted in that war, fucking dead now. You need to take that fucking flag off your bike. You're not even Ukrainian. I couldn't believe it, man. Mm-hmm. The gall of these people. And it's like, I'm a bad person. I had a guy at a party call me a Putin apologist when he brought it up. Mm-hmm. Fuck, man. People out there. Anyway, that was my call. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you get some good callers on tonight.
Well, I hope so. I hope so here, because I don't want to dwindle the party down short. But anyways, okay, thanks for calling in. Thanks for giving us updates. We'll get you on in a couple of weeks if you got something to add. Okay, brother?
One tiny last tip. You remember Dano?
Yes, we talked to him last show.
Blitzkrieg of bullshit.
That's right.
That was him.
Blitzkrieg of bullshit. That's right. Yep. Dano's a smart
I hope he's
cookie.
hearing. I hope he's listening to that. I put it in the chat last week. But dude, Dano, I'd like to meet you one day, man. I hope you see him. Blitzkrieg of bullshit. That's fucking gold.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations to the USA men's team, Quinn Hughes. You're my favorite player in the world. And congratulations to your son.
Thank
Adios.
you. Adios. All right. There it is right there. Okay, so we got someone says COVID-19 vaccine is actually AIDS. Yeah, VAIDS. We covered the whole VAIDS epidemic in 2021 when we had that doctor from Norway on. We're on Odyssey. I think we're on Odyssey because we got kicked off a Rumble. And we had to go back to Odyssey. And then after 4 months, we're having streaming problems on Odyssey. We couldn't go back to Rumble. We went back to DLive in 2022. We had that saying everyone dies because of the shedding through the breathing. We covered the cryogenics in the prions inside the blood capillary. We covered all that. The people came on that talked about that years and years and years and years ago. But here we are now today. Rampant cancer growth is rampant everywhere. And go back and watch our video from 2018. One in 3 people have cancer and don't even know it. Go watch that video. You'll learn something new from that video. It's finally starting to get views today because now YouTube has taken its boot off our neck after 15 years and allows us to exist. After the fucking damage is done. When we play videos for people like, oh, I didn't know about this. How come I didn't hear about this from you? Oh, fuck, I could have done this and I could have done that. It's like, well, they hide the people that want to tell you what the fuck to do and how to prepare. But then 5 years later, some motherfucker comes around and says, look, the real estate's crashing. We were telling you not to fucking invest in this shit because it's a fucking trap. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it's a fucking trap. Oh, people would have lost on gains. Bull fucking shit gains. They would have used the equity in their house to fucking buy food. And then they're fucking underwater. So don't tell me about fucking piece of shit gains. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyways. All right. All right, guys. If you want to just message me right now on Instagram, I'll see your message. And I'll get you to call into the show. On Instagram, just add me right now. Real Mike Martins. Let me go into hidden requests. All right, that's not. Let me just check that and see if that's somebody from the show. I don't know who the hell that is. I got a lot of spam mixed in with your messages, guys, so it's a pain in the ass is what it is, trying to find out who's messaging for the show and whose car broke down on the side of the road and need me to e-transfer them $40 because it's all fucking bullshit. I need to get Dino Bravo on the show. I need to get Supreme Cannon on the show because it's been over 3 weeks. I need to get Supreme Cannon. I want to get Earthquake back on the show. We need to get, what's his name? The Walking Journey. The Walking Journey did Anthony in the Night the other day. So The Walking Journey's being active again on his YouTube channel. Right? So there it is right there, folks. Okay. Someone's asking me for my Instagram. Guys, Instagram's right here. I'll plug it in again. I want to thank Paul Da Silva for buying me a coffee today. Thanks for the coffee, buddy. Here's my Instagram. Go ahead and send me a message there. Yeah, seniors on pensions can't afford to eat. Man, we were all over the place back in the day when we were all over the place. Look at this, 6 years. Look at this. Pensioners can't afford food. Biden inflation kicks in. Amerifornia becomes a reality. Senior citizens are replacing teens as employees. Vancouver seniors choosing to take their own lives rather than become homeless. Seniors now owe almost $4 billion in reverse mortgage debt. Yep. Look at our food haul videos. $600 for food price. Food skyrocketing. Foodflation. People will be priced out of food by 2023. 8 years ago. So, yeah, we were all over this, guys. Look at this, 7 years ago. Destruction of recorded history is on purpose. Major digital book burning. Major distractions. Yeah, lots of videos here for you guys to see. We've been all over the place. We've been all over the place, folks. We've been everywhere. We've covered it all. Yeah, thanks, Paul, for the coffee, man. All right, let's start getting some colors in here. That video I did in 2017, 2017, Mike, in the night we did, that they're gonna pull the trigger on a pandemic and force everyone on a vaccine. That video now is getting traction now. It's from It's from 2017. It's up. It's finally getting traction now, and people are watching it for the first time now and saying, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I don't mind. I don't blame a lot of people for being pissed off. A lot of the people that are on social media to give you the message and try and put you in the right direction or here to talk, I don't get paid here. So, hey, I don't get any US aid here. I don't get fuck all for being here. I'm just here to talk to you guys and figure out what the fuck they're doing to us and what's their next move. And we've been very right about this. We've been right on the fucking money about this. And now, well, they're letting us speak now, but the damage is done. The damage is done. Now, how do we come back from this? Right? All right, guys, send me just send me a quick message now on Instagram if you want to come on the show. Oh, here we go. We got somebody just messaged me here. Okay. Sure. Okay, you don't have to explain what you want to talk about on the show. I don't screen the calls here, and that's what we've been doing for the last 8 years. You got something? Come on the show. Let's talk about it, right? You don't need to tell me what it's okay. You could tell me what you want to talk about, so this way I'm prepared. But usually, I just like to have conversation with people. Just like to have conversation. Sorry, guys, my camera is there. It is. It's back again. It keeps blurring out. Okay, let's get another call. First time caller on the show. All right. Okay. So we got accept. Sorry, accepting you. This. Refresh. All right. All right. So, Buddy's not picking up his phone. All right, guys, keep messaging me, and I'll get you guys on Mike in the Night, episode 639. Call us in and tell us what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Trying to read through the masquerades, paper headlines, polished lies, but you can see it in the people's eyes. Granddad said, son, stand tall, don't let fear build your walls. Mama prayed by the kitchen light, said keep your heart strong through the fight. So he turns that dial a little more, like knocking on a closed back door. Mike in the night, on the AM line, truth coming through like a warning sign. You can feel it shift when the clock strikes 3, like something's waking inside of me. At 3 AM when the static spoke and saying I have spoken. Ain't about left, ain't about right. It's about sleeping good at night, about working hard and keeping faith, and calling out what just ain't straight when the world feels cold and tight. There's a voice in the dark saying it'll be alright. My given night, hear the tone, front porch truth over dial tone. 3 a.m. and the veil's wide open. Every word card and I'm open.
I have spoken.
From the back row.
Yes, I got some songs made for the show, guys. All right, no one's picking up, guys. So I called 2 different people that wanted to come on the show, and they are not picking up their telephones. So if people want to give me just send me a friendly message and say, "Hey, man, I just got I get messages of people that accounts got deleted and stuff. So people making fake accounts, and they're usually spam accounts, not because they know I'm on social media. They're just bullshit people trying to waste people's time to send money to fix some sort of pipeline in Nigeria or some shit like that. Okay. All right. So we need to get also Junkyard Dog. We haven't had Junkyard Dog on the show in like a month now. We haven't had Supreme Cannon in 3 weeks now. We haven't had a lot of people. Oh, somebody's calling in. Hello and welcome to Mike in the Night.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
It's going, man. You know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
Excellent. Did you try calling me? I heard it make a sound, but I didn't know.
I was going down my list, but you just sent me a little picture of something like an emoji, and I wasn't sure if if it was a spam message or if it was just somebody trying to get attention. But I saw you there. I put you under Mike in the Night chat just in case. So
right on, man.
Okay, you got something for us? You're calling in. It's a Monday night. What do you got for us, buddy?
I don't really have any new information or anything, obviously, but I'm a carpenter, and I talk to a lot of different people and work with different kinds of people, I guess, too. And it's funny, kind of the divide between the two opinions, you know, and it's hard to get around it a lot in conversations. But I noticed the other thing is people are more willing now to kind of get along than they were a couple of years ago too, you know.
Well, because Rachel Madcow was telling you if you didn't take that vaccine, you're going to kill your grandma. How the fuck are people going to be on the same page? You know what I mean? When one people are extreme and the other people are like, hey, look, listen, logic. What the fuck? So.
Yeah. Logic is hard. It's a hard thing to get around. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are really, well, the kid thing for one, it's hard to incentivize people to do it. Like I feel like I was lied to in, you know, my high school years to, you know, the world was overpopulated and it was going to end in Y2K and all this shit. And the world just kept going on and getting worse all the time too. So it made it harder to get ahead because the inflation or whatever was always that next step ahead. You couldn't save. Mm-hmm. The only way to get ahead was to borrow, right?
That's right. And you can't
so
borrow.
A lot of people got caught in that. Nope.
You can't borrow your way out of debt. Oh, well then, before we go any further, remember that fuckface, what's his name? Florida will be underwater by 2012?
Yes.
Yeah, remember that fuckface? And he went around telling everyone, Al Gore was going around telling everyone that Florida will be underwater by 2012. Everybody that you ever knew in your life, from your mechanic to your barber to the motherfucker that's picking up the garbage outside, was a climate expert.
Yeah,
You remember
for
that?
sure. Well, people still think they are. The fucking schools get canceled now because they think it's going to get snowy the next day. Like one day it was canceled because it was cold. Like it's just a winter. But I think another thing of that is they're actually trying to condition, the next generation to follow orders and believe the weather. We got the weather nailed, so obviously, because they can't predict. It's a guess. Like I'm pretty good at guessing it myself, prognosticator, I guess, a little bit just by the feel of the air, and eventually it's going to rain.
Yeah, climate does
That's how
change,
she
right?
goes.
But let me ask you a question then. Why did they erase, as of 2 years ago, why did they go back and delete and erase the last 100 years of recorded weather history for? Why?
It is interesting. Even the climate alarmists where they talk about the temperature, global temperatures rising and blah, blah, blah. Well, they added more thermometers in warmer places. So there's more monitors of the situation, but they're all in kind of the equalized climate. They're not doing like a proper aggregate of all the different climates. And even if they did, it still doesn't matter because it's just weather. Other than the shit that they control with cloud seeding and whatnot, obviously. But
yeah. They started cloud seeding back just
So
around the Vietnam War with Operation Popeye, right? And they took off from there, and they did whatever they can to, you know what I mean? They did whatever they can to control the narrative, right? Whether it's weather, whether it is, whether it's the weather, whether it is your health, whether it is what the fuck they're trying to sell you on the news, right?
Exactly. It's all the propaganda. It has to be the illusion of control because, they are the minority. And you can tell they're losing their grip, right? You don't even get what they hate most about Trump is that he goes against the popular opinion, all the talking heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, they know best. And, they've been doing the same shit for hundreds of years anyways. And they want that to continue. Well, I hope that he doesn't, and then you just kind of see what he's doing. I mean, Iran, whatever. I didn't even know about that on the weekend until at a comic book show. They're all looking at that and asking me what I thought. And I'm like, no, I don't know, but I'm not surprised either because ultimately I don't even care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
mm-hmm. That war,
not my problem. Is
that region of the world's been in chaos since the time of Moses anyway, right? So
for sure. Absolutely. It's the Ottoman Empire starting point, like maybe even the cradle of life,
Mesopotamian, all that. Yeah, that place always been. All these regions have been in conflict. Wherever there's man, there's a problem, or there's some sort of a threat. Wherever their man is, there's always a problem or threat somewhere, or some sort of movement against or for or with the. You know what I mean, right? So.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, those areas had the people, and those areas were the areas that recorded their history, right? So,
well, the first people to ever record anything, really. I mean, the cuneiform tablet stuff and all the, origin stories shared across globally, different cultures and all that, coincidentally at the same time in the past, estimated, I guess, maybe at 5,000 years ago, kind of the beginning, which could be a lie too, History is a lie agreed upon.
Yeah. What are you drinking tonight?
Nothing, actually.
Oh, okay.
I did just smoke a joint though.
Oh, okay.
And I'm kind of nervous.
I'm I've been sick the last 2 weeks, kind of off my game, kind of out of energy, winded, not feeling well, slowly getting better. And I notice when I drink Fireball cinnamon whiskey, it kills all the microbes and all the bullshit that's going through my body. And I feel good because I'm drinking. No, I actually feel good because it's actually reversing a lot of this crap. And I go to the bathroom better. So I've been dedicating once every 2 weeks to drink a little bit of whiskey to clean these bacteria, toxins, and all kinds of stuff. Just like nicotine. We had a guest on the show in 2019 that was telling us, her name was Marnie, and she was telling us back in 2019 that nicotine is the best thing for you. I
smoke.
but nicotine itself, if you could chew nicotine gum or get a patch, it's actually good. It cures like 80 to 95% of any fucking weird shit that could happen to you. But anyways,
I have read that. I bought this book called Tales of Glooscap or something, who's like a Native American god, basically. Came across the ocean riding a couple dolphins, I think.
Oh, yes.
And met the Indians and brought went down to the Caribbean by the sounds of it and brought tobacco up and told them, if you feel hungry, have this while you're freezing your asses off in the winter, and sickness and all that too. Like, it was medicinal, right? So also poison, I think, too, from what I hear, but I guess all things in moderation.
Let me ask you, what region are you in? Like, are you in Canada, America, or?
Yeah, I live in Ontario, like southwestern Ontario, on the Bruce Peninsula.
Sorry, you mean Ontario?
Yes.
Okay.
It's good where I live.
Oh, okay.
I will admit that.
Okay.
So, like, if you actually look on a globe or even just a map of the Great Lakes, like what separates Lake Huron from Georgian Bay, it's kind of like a point, and you can always see it. So I live in like the very lowest point, kind of western low point of Georgian Bay.
Okay, must be.
So I got the Bruce Peninsula. It is really nice. Like,
is it predominantly Canadians, or has it been taken over?
Yes. Well, they're trying that, but luckily, very little infrastructure, right? So,
okay.
They have sped up production of building some of this stuff. So I'm a carpenter, right? I used to do commercial framing and stuff like that, and it just wasn't worth it. Plus, I was getting old. Like, had to deal with people that didn't care. It was stressful, and got frostbite too many times. So,
fuck.
I didn't even have to do it. I was like, you know what?
When you worked, did you work with a lot of Portuguese?
Yes, my supervisor was Portuguese.
Okay, I'm a Portuguese.
He was short,
and we worked very hard building the infrastructure in this country. And
for sure.
And yeah.
I have worked with some in Toronto too. Like, I got nothing against them. I would say apparently I'm mostly Scottish.
Okay.
But same with most of the people around this area.
Okay, good.
Mom says,
So it's predominantly European expansion, which I'm like.
Yes.
Canada's running out of European expansion places. Everything has been taken over. Like, Vancouver is predominantly Chinese, Indian, Pakistani, Sri Lankan, and a little bit of Vietnamese. But the Chinese bring in the oppression. So you be stopped at a red light in Vancouver. You look over to the car next to you. There'll be a Chinese guy looking at you like you burnt his house to the ground.
Yeah.
I call it the Vancouver
they want the
glare.
division.
I call it the Vancouver glare. It's like, I was sitting in a hotel with my wife this weekend because I had my son's hockey out of town, and the Chinese guy was one of the owners of the hotel, and we're sitting on the couch in the lobby going over some paperwork for my son, and one of the Chinese kept walking by us, staring us down, looking to pick a fight with me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I like to see him do that to a black guy with dreadlocks and gold teeth. That black guy would knock his ass off to the ground real quick in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? But
for sure.
It's
like,
really sad.
So I tried working in Toronto for a couple months, and I just found the same thing. Really, wasn't really my place. Like, I'm basically a hillbilly, right? So, I mean, even the city that I live close to is 21,000 people. It's like the smallest city in Canada, actually. But yeah, I remember one day in Toronto, I was after feeling like a giant waiting for a subway to come by. I wanted some sunglasses, so I'm looking at the little spinny rack and enough space that I can see up and down, top to bottom type of thing. And this Asian guy goes in front, so that there's no space between me, him, or the rack. And he didn't say anything, so I just pushed him out of the way. And he stayed over there until I was done, actually, and then went and looked. But we didn't say a word.
Chinaman, you don't exist. I'm waiting for the elevator in a mall, and all these Chinese people walk in front of me like I'm not even there, and then they look at me and say, "You're not getting on. Get the fuck out of here." And then my wife, my wife's from the Philippines, and she understands Chinese. And then after she started telling me what they're talking about to these fucking guys, calling us garbage and Canadians, Europeans, and white people are garbage, and this country's going downhill because of white people. It's like, we built the motherfucker, you fucking idiot.
Well, I was talking, so customer today was saying, like, he went over, watched he saw some band that we were talking about over in Berlin anyway. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you went to Berlin, eh? And he's like, oh, it was amazing. I went to the Munich museum or whatever of his war or something. And he's like, the German section in there was like a little fucking booth in the corner. He's like, it was kind of shocking how small it was, right? And he went to Dresden. This is in the 90s, I guess. And he's like, it was still all fucked up then.
Yeah.
But like, I know they teach them now, like, to be ashamed of what they did, which I guess you should in a way. I mean, don't just like kill millions of people for no reason.
Careful about the history, because look, me and you, we're seeing shit in front of us that's complete fucking bullshit, and we know it's bullshit. But imagine going back 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000 years with very little to no exposure, and what they wanted us to believe today. There's a lot of fucking bullshit out there. Just don't. That's why I keep telling people, don't take sides. Like, remember Benny Hill? Benny Hill used to say all the time, don't assume, because you'll make an ass out of you and me.
That's right. The assumption's the mother of all fuck ups.
Yep. Yeah, tons of bullshit. Like, I could tell you stories about, did you know that and we brought this up on Mike of the Night a few times when we debated this. Did you know that Poland invaded Germany 2 times to spark World War II?
Nope.
Poland invaded Germany 2 times. You know who was egging Poland on? Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was dying for a fight against Germany, so he wanted Poland to be the instigator to start it. So Poland invaded Germany 2 times and retreated both times. And then Germany said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna go in." So I don't want you to think I'm pro-German or pro. I'm not. I don't take sides. It's all bullshit. But all I'm saying is,
well, the sides is the money. I mean, that's why Churchill did that. That they were all fresh into the global debt banking system thing. Like, I guess now the term that I hear is like the City of London, right? So that's kind of who's pulling the strings with some of that stuff.
Well, they're the kings of money laundering. Back in 2019 November, we covered a groundbreaking article about that whistleblower that said if the Bank of London stopped laundering money, the world would collapse. And guess who was the Bank of London commissioner or president? Mark Carney.
There, exactly.
Woo!
So you know about the Hudson's Bay Company's sale of all their historical shit, right?
Some Chinese lady, right?
Well, I never actually saw who bought it, but I remember it was going up for auction. One of the things was basically that. Oh, what is it called?
No, there was a Chinese lady. There was a Chinese lady that bought the locations of the Hudson's Bay, the stores.
Okay.
And then the article was a front page article, says Canadian woman buying Hudson's Bay. I look at the picture. That fucking lady's not Canadian. Get the fuck out of here. So I kind of laughed at that. But anyways, go on.
Of course not. I mean, that guy that crossed the floor in Edmonton with the French name or whatever, who clearly didn't grow up in Edmonton, kind of pulls a Pierre Poilievre, get the seat in over there for the Conservatives, right?
And then walks.
And then the guy just crosses the aisle.
Yeah.
It's like, so this is the democracy. Mm-hmm. Like fuck that shit. So Mark Carney desperately wants a majority.
Did you see my short on that?
I did.
I made a good short on that one. It went super viral on. It wasn't Facebook. Maybe Instagram it went viral on. It went viral. It got almost 1 million views. So, yeah, the guy walked it right the fuck over, just like that.
Yeah.
And no one voted for the Liberal Party. That voted for. Obviously, they voted for a Conservative. And I said in that video, you drop the fuck out, and you rerun as a fucking Liberal.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy. Even like the democracy of Europe with the European Union thing, it's like, and you get those countries, Hungary, I guess, is a good example there. And I thought Italy was at one point. But anyway, so they don't want to fall for it. You know, they don't want to destroy their own country for the sake of the globalists. Mm-hmm. They have a history that they want to keep. Like in this, so Trudeau especially is like, Canadians don't have an identity, right? We don't have an identity of anything. not a specific like Christian heritage type thing that helped build everything.
It's the European expansion is the identity. It's the Scottish, it's the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Italians. That's the identity of Canada. Founded on the Ten Commandments.
Exactly.
If we weren't founded on the Ten Commandments and we were founded on the Quran or Islam, me and you, buddy, we wouldn't be talking to each other today.
Well, if things were so good there, why'd they ever leave? Why do they have to go?
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody
what is there?
immigrates
They
to
have
Muslim
nothing.
countries. Nobody immigrates to Muslim countries. Even Muslims don't immigrate to Muslim countries.
They don't even let the refugees in. So.
Yep. So.
But yeah, you know that stuff.
Oh yeah, we've made videos, but that's why we've been banned 21 times on YouTube, eh?
Well, you know what? I don't know when I started following, but I was just like, kind of reading your mail, and you were talking a lot of sense. And it's like, it's not really what they say. They always tell you, there's always the hints in all the news of what they're going to do next, like to prepare you for when it happens, right? Like kind of like Mark Carney when, Chrystia Freeland, oh yeah, well, Mark's a good friend, so I get all my financial advice from him, although he has nothing to do with whatever we're doing and has no influence, obviously. And, so anyway, yeah, getting back to the document, the Hudson's Bay Company and all this, like that document is actually the contract of Canada as a dominion or whatever to the crown, right? So then that's up for grabs. And then when Trump got elected, he met with the king or whatever, which I was like, why the fuck would the king go to America? Like what's he going to do? Like shake his hand?
Because America has loyalty to the crown, right? Federal Reserve is a foreign entity in the United States, right? That was put in by President Woodrow Wilson on his basically sold out Americans and brought in the Income Tax Act, right? Charging people tax on their labor. That's the most pussy bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life. But still, imagine, Jay, I'm going to charge you tax on your fucking labor, boy, and you got there's nothing you could do about it. And look where we're at now. That's
why they needed World War II. Like they needed the income tax. So you indebt the nation. You borrow this money from, say, IMF. I don't think it existed at that time, but definitely like central banks in a way,
IMF
right?
was around for a long time. IMF was around. IMF was before that. I think they were the Red Shield, and all these other families. And then they started to become more of before they became more international, they didn't want to call themselves the Red Shield or the Coats or whatever they wanted to call themselves. So they gave it a better branding as the IMF, International Monetary Fund.
Yeah.
And then they started destabilizing Portuguese Africa, because Portugal had colonies in Africa, that overseas territories that were built like New York City. Beautiful. And they went in there because the Portuguese had the oil in Angola, the natural gas in Mozambique, and it's in a video I made. If you want to watch it, it's in my documentary. It's called Gold-Back Wars, talking about the Bretton Woods program in the United States and talking about the Portuguese escudo that was gold-back currency. And a lot of people don't know these gold-back wars, but it shaped the IMF into what it is today, sparking wars and
Libya
around the world. So.
But that's what it is. That's what all of the war is about, right? So I kind of liken this new style of just going in and getting it done, like kill the guy that's the problem, and then less people have to die. Yeah.
I hate
Ukraine is stupid.
I fucking hate innocent people getting caught in this bullshit, because it's not. They didn't sign up for this in life. A lot of people that signed up for life and brought kids into the world didn't sign them up to this fucking bullshit.
I think they must have a hard time. Like one of my son's friends in his class, like, so he's in grade 4, and one of his buddies, I forget his name though, Riker, I think. But anyway, he's Ukrainian refugee, but I don't think his dad is over here. And I'm like, fuck, I hope his dad is fucking gonna make it, because you're fighting a losing battle. They don't even want you to win. Like, right away, they could have had peace. And the whole Donbass thing with the 14,000 people that died between like 2016 to 2022 anyway, it's like, they don't matter. So when someone retaliates, that's bad. But the response is to kill even more. And of course, like, oh, we're going to send Europeans there if it has to. Well, fuck that shit, man. We fucking bled out already. We have less kids. We don't like technology is supposed to pick up the slack so we can enjoy life, and they just want to take it, the death cult.
Yep. And the suburbs outside the cities were supposed to make life a lot easier, drive away from the city, start suburbia, start small town, build life. And the whole purpose of the suburbs was to grow family. Okay, well, they can't afford a house in the city. Let's get them a house 30 minutes away, and they could have 5-6 kids. And then now that has become unaffordable. Now, everything has become, in a way, purposefully designed to screw with us.
Well, for sure. You notice how all the affordable housing is 1 to 2 bedrooms, like even 3 bedrooms. If you're a family, 3 bedrooms, that's only 2 kids.
Where I live is $700,000 for 3 bedrooms, and I live in a 2-stoplight town.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't even have a house, dude. So I'm a carpenter. I don't have a house. I can't get a house. I have like a 6-figure job, but it's not enough. And I guess part of it is I'm so cheap and I was expecting everything to fucking correct, but I have no problem making my living, taking it from everybody that has it. But it's the other fucked up thing is I was just saying again today, like when I start a new build, which is all I do now, just custom stuff, a third of the time we're tearing down an existing house and building another house on the same spot. So we're not like making new houses. Plus so me and my partner right now, individually, when we were separate companies, we'd do about like 15 houses a year, right? And now together, and we only have like periodically 1 employee, we're building 3 or less, like sometimes 1. Like that's part of the unsustainability. And the other thing, when I went to school, they're like, oh yeah, learn computers and do all this shit. And I was doing the OAC thing, and I didn't even take carpentry. I took like auto shop once though, but I did the French immersion. So I had to, like, that took a lot of time. But like half of my intelligent friends that did post-secondary and that didn't even have kids, and all my friends that dropped out and started their own business have kids, fucking made bank. Like they didn't buy the bullshit then and they won. But so like the next generation down, like they're going to be the victim if they don't wake up. Well, the victim now anyway, so I already am.
But that's where it's headed. I mean, where the people that didn't do or go with the status quo were the ones that, like you said, that dropped out, opened their own. But like me, I barely graduated from high school. I've always had my own businesses, right? And the private citizens, the self-made people, were the ones that but we went through I've been through a lot of fucking shit. Especially being on social media, being in a small town, being very disliked everywhere I go, people giving me this look like I'm a piece of shit. And you know what? I was fucking right.
You were? There's not very many videos I've seen of yours where you were way off the mark.
And you notice I don't take down any videos. They're all up. And if a video gets taken down, it's because YouTube took it down. Right? So.
Well, I remember I used to have a playlist of stuff for the World Trade Center or whatever, right? Like everything was suspicious and all that shit. Same with Fukushima, actually, but YouTube took a lot of that away. I didn't actually download it. But then I noticed maybe a year ago, all that stuff that I was originally watching was just back in the feed. And I'm like, that's very interesting. Yeah.
I got videos that are reappearing that were taken down over I guess I have 2007 videos taken down, and they give and take. They put back videos, and I notice it's back. Then they take videos, and I get an email saying that we've restored 3 of your videos from 2014. I'm like, why the fuck did you take them down in the first place? Because the information was important in 2014. Now the damage is done. Right. They don't give a fuck, right?
Well, yeah, that's the whole evil agenda part of it. They tell you what they're going to do, and then they do it, but they do it kind of quietly, right? But then you notice that it's been done, like you say, and then they let you know that, they followed through with what they said. So It's insane.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to find you a nickname. I don't want to use your real name on the show, so if you ever want to call back in, I'm going to give you a nickname to go by, okay? So
Sure.
let me think of one for you, and something cool, something really cool. Because we got I give out nicknames all the time. We have Junkyard Dog, we got Ricky Spanish, we got all kinds of cool people that have been calling in and reporting and updating.
Most of my friends call me Four Chop.
Pork Chop
or Four Chop.
Four?
Yeah, four. FORCHOP, or just Choppy or whatever.
Choppy. Choppy McGee. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get you back on soon enough. Now I got you on my roster little thingy. All you have to do is when I start Mike in the Night, we like to have people come on at least once every 3 weeks or once a month just to update us. But if you see that I'm struggling for callers and you see me, just message me on things. Say, hey, man, I got something I found at work, or somebody told me something about something. I might want to share it with you guys, right? So don't be shy, okay?
Right on. Sounds good, man. Well, good talk.
Thank you, brother. Have a good night. God bless.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. Yes, we got a first-time caller on Mike in the Night. Yes. All right, here, guys, check it out. This is the Goldback Wars, the fall of the Portuguese Empire via the IMF and BRICS nations. You're going to want to watch this video. I'm going to put a link in it. It discusses what the other gentleman on the call was saying. Watch that video. That has a lot to do with the Goldback Wars. You will enjoy this video very much. It points out a lot of usual suspects here. A lot of wars were fought. Look at Portuguese Africa. Look at Portuguese Africa. Look at that. You go there right now, it's a piece of shit. Yeah, look at that. Oh, there's my dad right there. Look, there's my dad right here. There's my dad right there. That's my dad right there. Right there. In Portuguese Africa. There he is, right there. Top right. Yep. And there's the how the IMF organized these wars to destroy. Look at fucking China's in there too, fuckers. Trying to destroy the fucking world. Destroy people, what they've built. Oh yeah. All right, guys. It's Mike in the Night. Everyone's asking about my my music. It's Earthquake gave me told me of an application to use to make music. He showed me how to make the music. Make the music for your show. Do it for yourself. You could do this, Mike. And we have new music on Mike in the Night. All right, let's just do a quick channel plug, guys. If you want to buy your boy a coffee, right here, buy me a coffee. There should be a link in the description. And YouTube channel looks like this. Go down, watch our videos. Watch our 7K home in the Philippines that we built. Real good progress on this home. We're going to go back and do another season soon. And you can find us on Facebook. Instagram is how you call into the show. I'm still on TikTok. I'm on one strike now. They removed one strike, so I got one violation, not two. So they're kind of moving me around. And MikeInTheNight.org takes you to episodes of Mike in the Nights that you can watch back episodes if you want to binge watch the show. And if you want to buy, you can find in the description the new Mike in the Night stuff. I like this die cut sticker. This looks really cool. This die cut sticker looks really cool. So die cut stickers there, and I really like this. I like this T-shirt. I might even get this for myself. There's the Mike in the Night T-shirt there, if you guys want to get. And then we have the Mike in the Night mug, the I Have Spoken mug. I really like this mug. Take it to work. Show your friends. Mike in the Night. And yeah, pretty cool, eh? So I got that done for you guys this last 2 weeks. I was very excited to come back on tonight and be here with you guys. And all right, who else do we got here? The Raven, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing him in the comments. It looks like he is on a train right now. People were asking about the Raven. He is on a train, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's heading eastbound. He's at a stop signal. if you want to get technical here. All right, let's see who else is messaging me here tonight on Mike in the Night. Oh, here we go. There we go. Boom. Accept. General Mike in the Night. All right, we got another caller coming on in a second here, folks. Just give me 1 segundo here. Let me refresh this. All right, we're going to get our next caller on here for Mike. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. We're tuned into Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth.
Mike in the Night. Transmission. Life. Neon shadows on the street. Baseline rising from beneath. Silver skyline. Hearts ignite. We awaken in my mind. Every fear just fades away when the rhythm starts to play. You don't know what's wrong, alright. You just moving right in the night. Close your eyes, don't fight the fight. Feel it lifting you higher. When the clock hits 3, you're finally free. At 3 a.m., something's moving you. Feel it breaking through, like a wave you can't undo. At 3 a.m., let the darkness shine. We've crossed the line. Oh, Mike in the night. Feel the bass ignite. Mike in the night.
All right, guys, I'm trying to call a caller that asked to call in. And maybe try to call me back, if you don't mind. Oh, we got another caller here. Yo.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good.
Sorry, someone's calling me on my phone. I don't know why. Anyways, yeah. Welcome to Mike of the Night, episode 639.
Awesome.
And what do you got for us, buddy?
All right. Well, if you look at your little, I learned this the other day. If you look at your, damn it, let me talk. If you look at your food packets,
Yeah.
there is a little thing to the left that has Hebrew above it, and it says COR, and it has a number underneath it,
Okay.
which means it's kosher. So that means the Jews will eat it, but we, as other people. But if you look at your gummy bears, they won't have it. Your Kit Kats won't have it. If you grab 3 things, go grab 3 things out of your kitchenette right now and see if you could see COR. A little circle with COR on it.
Well, I got a bottle of booze here. Would it be on booze too?
I don't know. Let me check my booze.
What are you drinking tonight?
Rum.
Oh, you're drinking. Are you in the Caribbean?
No.
Oh,
Jesus
okay.
Christ. I'm from Northern Ontario. I'm Timmins, Ontario. Timmins.
That's like north of. How far is that from Sault Ste. Marie?
That's a good 12-hour trip, man. Like,
Never mind. Never mind. How far are you from Thunder Bay?
Thunder Bay, that is 9 hours.
Oh, wow, you're way okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So food symbols, COR. You said.
Yes, you are. Yeah, go grab a couple things out of your pantry.
I can't see a damn thing. I got a packet of gum in front of me, but I can't. I need glasses to see up close. I just can't see. So what's going on in your neck of the woods where you are? Is housing expensive where you are? Are you being taken over by foreigners? Are you the last person in town that speaks English?
Oh my goodness, bro. You want to talk about that? Okay. Sorry, I lost my voice. I was at a Bare Naked Ladies concert on Friday.
You went to a Bare Naked Ladies concert on Friday? Where? In your town? In Timmins?
In Casino Rama there in Aurelia.
Aurelia. Okay, I know where you are now. Yeah, but not far from Niagara Falls.
No, I'm way up north. Like I'm from Timmins, but Aurelia.
But Aurelia is not far from Niagara Falls, isn't it?
I don't know. That's about
I'm thinking of something else, man. I gotta pull
4 or 5 hours.
I haven't been in Ontario in 10 years.
Sorry, bro.
I grew up in Toronto, though.
Okay.
But
Man,
when I say I grew up in Toronto, I grew up on Dufford and St. Clair area.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
yeah.
Boy. I used to hang out in Hamilton for a while there. That was fucking scary.
No, yeah, those places. Ontario used to be good when it was predominantly. So you said in the message you're First Nations, right?
Yes, I'm First Nations in Pollock.
Okay, but do you agree? I know where you are. You are holy shit. You are like 2-3 hours north of Sudbury.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're way up there. Holy shit. Yeah. Okay, Timmins. Okay. All right.
Yeah. We're Steve Sullivan, Dave Verrico, and Shania Twain is from, I believe. That's our famous people.
Well, here we are on Caller Maps here on Mike of the Night. He's Caller Map. There it is. There's Timmins, Ontario. So he's way up here in the province of Ontario. He's not far. You said you're 9 hours from Thunder Bay?
To the left, yeah.
Yeah, I see it here, Thunder Bay. If we go down to Sudbury here, I've been to Sudbury a few times.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours.
And there's the city of Toronto. And then if you go this way, you go to Niagara Falls this way. And you go this way, you go to downtown Detroit through Windsor, right? So,
yeah.
I'm just giving people a grand tour of the province of Ontario here tonight on Mike in the Night.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of Timmins. Are you being taken over? Are you going to your fast food restaurants and there's Indian people?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me tell you this. These fucking, may I swear?
You could swear.
Like, okay, well, how far could I swear?
Just no racial shit.
Okay. Well, these cocksuckers, they came over here on their student fucking visas. Mm-hmm. They paid up the ass. And you know what? In Timmins, they've got a brand new, you could Google up Timmins, brand new fucking stadium and all this shit that they're making out of their fucking international fucking money. And they're fucking, now they're going broke. Boo-hoo. We made $1 million a year. We couldn't hold it together. But they're so stinky and they're fucking, they live 12 in a fucking 2-bedroom house.
Well, you know how you fix that? There's a way to fix those problems when there's over occupancy. You go to Timmins Courthouse, you go to the council meetings, and you get ChatGPT to write up a proposal for the council that they need to have occupancy laws.
Fire. No, they actually caused the fire in a main building of like full of elderly women and all shit. There was like a couple of them downstairs cooking on a flame in the house. They were making a barbecue.
Somebody made a video about that. Somebody made a video on Instagram, right?
Isn't that fucking stupid?
Yeah, they had an open flame in the fucking house without proper ventilation. Yes.
Whoopsie. You wonder what's going to happen.
Wow.
No, it's overrun over there. You wouldn't want to go to the hospital. All I see is them.
Wow. So rural parts like Timmins, Ontario, is being taken over by foreigners, by student loan people with students or student. Are they getting their wage subsidized up there like we are here in BC? Because in BC, our government pays their wages pretty much 80%.
I think they subsidized the employer, man. I can't go to Tim Hortons without fucking doobly 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 doo.
Holy shit, you seem pretty pissed off, man. And the native people, you native guys, thought the white guy was the fucking problem.
Yeah, now I'm with the white guy. Fucking hey,
now
man,
you're with the white guy. You know what I'm saying?
Here.
Now you see, you know, why we protected the borders and closed the borders and protected the people. God keep our land glorious and free.
Glorious and free.
Stand on guard for thee, right?
For thee, yes.
Now you stand with God.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you stand with God right now, don't you?
For thee.
Oh, 100%. So the European was right. And the European, you know...
You know where I found them? I found them up even higher, man. They're even up even higher. Google fucking Moosonee. I don't know if you know Moosonee, Ontario. They are fucking way up there, bro. They're fucking crazy. It's redonkulous.
Yep.
They're
there
fucking
it is. Moosonee, Ontario. Let me zoom it out. Let me see where the fuck this place... Where is this place? Holy fuck!
They're getting their holds on fucking everywhere, man. It's fucking crazy. You know what they do is they fucking gather all their fucking money. They got 20 of them. They each come into town, into our country with an $82,000 bonus each. So they fucking they gather the fucking shit together, obviously. And then they buy up all these gas stations. You can't go to a gas station without fucking, you know.
You don't see Canadians, is what you're saying. So here's
Not
Moosonee. Here's Moosonee. All right, guys, and let's zoom it out. It's way up here by James Bay. It's way up north. And, yeah, the Canadians are... Now, the natives are stating, like, we're with the white man or we're with the European, right? But we're outnumbered still. I think we're going to be outnumbered. I think I don't
understand how they made up there.
Well, the European and the native are minorities now.
Look at that. See? Look at that. Wow. See,
we're minorities. Crazy. The European expansion, the Polish, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Greek, we're all minorities now. We built this motherfucker, too.
We did. The fucking railway? They didn't build the fucking railway.
Dude, they had 800 Chinese come in to set up explosives, and they said the Chinese built the railway now. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it was a Canadian heritage moment, you know. The guy with the glycerin, you remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
They keep bringing up every year. Then originally, one of my history books that I have that was published in 1837 or 1842, whatever it was, saying there was 800 reported Chinese that worked on the railroad, and 240 of them died. And then you go fast forward to the year 1990, 2,000 Chinese died. You fast forward to 2000, 10,000 Chinese died. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know. It's all mumbo jumbo.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Just like back in the day.
Yep. It's just all bullshit.
But it's not the same. You know, I remember going to school and the one black guy wasn't even black. He was Dominican. Mm-hmm. And fucking
yep.
You know, now you got fucking smelly Punjabs fucking stinking up like if my kid were to go over there with some fucking ham, a fucking ham sandwich, like, you know, like God intended, you know, can't have it. You know, can't have it because, God forbid, fucking we offend somebody.
Yeah, no, it's just really, really sad what these governments have made these countries to become. I mean, they should have just protected our borders. They should have just left us the fuck alone, right? So.
Oh man, did you hear what happened? They're gonna 100 billion fucking. They're gonna send 100 billion more.
No.
Sorry,
I read the article. They want the Indian High Minister of India is suggesting that Canada takes in 60 million Indians.
Oh, fuck.
I read the article. I read it. He's suggesting that Canada takes in 60 million Indians because the Europeans already built everything. Because the Indians aren't going to come here and build fuck all. You know that, right?
I know that. They're just going to take over shit.
Yeah. So.
All right, I got a funny story for you. Okay.
Go.
I used to work at Mark's Work Warehouse, mm-hmm. and those Indians didn't know how to fucking wipe their ass, so they would wipe their ass and throw it in the garbage. And we had to have a team meeting of how to wipe your ass.
Get out of town. Get out of town.
No, man. So fucking stupid. Yeah.
All right.
Fucking...
All right, dude. Hey, I'm going to keep you on my Rolodex here. And if you see me struggling for callers for Mike in the Night, or you're watching in the future, don't hesitate to message me and we'll get you on again. Okay, brother?
Man, I'm going to watch you all night on my fucking YouTube here just so you get views. Kid, you want me to like interact and shit? That's good to
well,
go.
the chat if you want. But if you also want, you can go watch older videos that we have too. If you want to see other callers and other situations we went through in the world and how we were covering it and approaching it, some pretty good shit.
Okay.
All right, brother?
Well, no. I respect you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, brother. Goodbye.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
So there you go. We had an Aboriginal man come on and say, we're with the white man. It's like, yeah, we best be together. If there's any time that we need to be together, we need to be the fuck together now. Right? All right, let's see who else we got here tonight on Mike in the Night on episode 639.
Feel the bass ignite. Mike in the night. There's nothing you can do. Something moving you.
Welcome to Mike in the Night episode 639. How you doing? Hello? Hello? All right, our caller has dropped the call. All right, we got several other callers. Let me just see here. If I could get this other caller in that wanted to call in. If I could get this other caller in here. All right. Yo, man, what the fuck?
Mike, what's going on?
Nada, how are you? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eduardo. Remember, if you guys remember Eduardo, he was on last week's of Mike in the Nights, reporting from Jalisco, Guadalajara, Mexico there, in Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, reporting all the burning buildings and all the smashing of stuff.
Not true, Mike.
No, I know it's not true. You were reporting the quiet police station and the quiet fucking, what was it, firefighting station. Nothing was going the fuck on. And I spoke to those fucking people in Spanish too.
Yeah, but you should have translated more.
Me translate? Everyone should know. I'm just joking. Yeah, I could have did a better job translating back to English, but yeah, I know what you mean. So
we got the gist of it, right? So I was talking to another guy tonight. He says, yeah, once every 5 years, something like this kicks off, but you know, people, they don't bother the average person, and nobody got hurt, really. And it's just to show the people that the cartels are still got the power, and the government is basically working. They're kind of in bed with the cartels anyway, so it's kind of a checkmate kind of thing going on. Anyways, the reason why I'm calling, for anybody that's going to be in the Greater Toronto area Saturday morning, noon, come down to Dundas Square. Monique is organizing a rally, and she's gotten quite upset that, you know, they still haven't fixed the sex ed in schools. And she learned that it's a federal offense to provide children with sexually explicit material.
Yeah. We're talking about this. We were talking this about when this gets started getting strong. Well, 2019, 2020, right? When this motherfucking shit started kicking off. And then we got into the bathroom wars in 2019. And people were not going to, what was that, Targets anymore because that anyone could use the women's bathroom. And it was just a fucking bathroom wars at the time.
Anyways, people have had enough. Come to the rally noon, March 7th, which is this coming Saturday. They're going to have some people speaking there. They're going to show people how they're going to be taking action, and they're going to push for actual change. They're going to try to expose more of these pedos and these sexual perverts, and they want to stiffen the laws on...
Where's it going to be, Dundas?
Yeah, Dundas Square. It's Dundas and Young.
Dundas Square. What's it called? Let's see if I can find it. What's the place?
I call it Tiananmen Square after what I witnessed
What's the
in
event called?
But Save the Children, and it's also co-sponsored by momsresist.ca.
All right, let's see here if we can find...
And I think one of the guys from Goofbusters is going to be there. There's going to be a few speakers, and there's going to be a little march. They're trying to organize the people to take action. That's the key thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get down there, see if you can help out. I know you won't. It's too far for you, but there's a lot of people tuning in from Ontario, right? So March 7th, noon.
I'm not getting anything for next week or March. I'm getting shit for like last year about Black Lives Matter stuff. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything that's... You're going to have to leave me a link, but I'm getting Black Lives Rally, anti-Trump protests, People for Ukraine protests.
Momsresist.ca. Save the children.
Moms.
Apparently this is going across the states too, eh? It's not just in Toronto. They're doing one in St. Catharines.
Oh, I found it here. Here it is. Momsresist.ca. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. No more stolen childhoods. You are their voice. Save our children. March Toronto. Get involved, raising awareness, sharing critical information, and educating the public. Together, we can be the voice children cannot have for themselves. Join us March 7, 2026. Moms Resist stands with our communities across the United States in the Save Our Children March, uniting 50 states, a powerful show of support protecting the children. So this is going to be in Toronto, Dundas, 1 Dundas Street East, Dundas Square, from noon to 3 p.m. So if you guys want, you guys can pick up a Mike in the Night t-shirt and wear it.
I think it's going to be a bit cool this weekend.
I'm just...
Got a Mike in the Night.
I got hoodies. I got Mike in the Night hoodies.
Insulated hoodies?
I think they're... Well, you could wear them... you could wear one of those thermal shirts underneath and keep it warm, right? But someone sent me $2 super chat. Thank you very much. And I think RC Lermaru sent me $3 or $5 earlier. Thank you so much. He's saying hockey stick Lorena Saxinger. So someone's going to meet you there. They're coming from St. Catharines.
Yeah, I won't be there, but a lot of people will be there. Spread the word, because the government doesn't want this to go ahead.
Well, yeah. Of course the government doesn't want anything for the people to go ahead. The people haven't had a voice in over 100 years.
Well, these guys are going to take action. It's not just going to be a million-man march. They're going to take action. And they got to get organized. They got to get the numbers. They got to get people volunteering. And it's going to be a directed assault on the government to get them to change the freaking laws.
Yeah.
This shit's been going on way too long. I'm sure people have had enough. Come join the team.
I wish I was close by. I'm way out. You know where I am. I'm way out of here. Way out here. Why don't you come and see me for March break? I got the vet on the road. Why don't you come and see me for March break?
I thought you were coming to Mexico for March break.
You know what, buddy? There's just too much fucking turmoil happening right now. I might not even do anything this year. I might save a little bit of money and just keep it quiet this year. I went to 3 continents last year, right?
Oh, good for you.
So I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it right now. I don't know. Maybe in a week or so I might feel it. Maybe go away, take the family for March break. But, buddy, I got this really bad feeling, man. And it ain't a good one. So, pretty bad feeling right now. So,
Oh, sure, they're gonna lock it. We're due for another lockdown.
well, I found the Mike of the Night. It's up for Mike of the Night from 2017. Climate lockdowns ahead. 2017, we were predicting climate lockdowns. They're going to pull the trigger on a pandemic was one we said 50 million times before 2020. And what was the other one we were saying for a lockdown? 2.0. Lockdown 2.0. What were they going to do, Eduardo? I made a video in 2021 about lockdown 2.0. What was it?
Was it not the environment?
No, the climate change one, they were going to do climate lockdowns, but that's all bullshit because no one... Al Gore said that Florida was going to be underwater by 2012. So you can't really fuck around with the climate anymore because people are starting to wake up to its bullshit, right? So,
Hey, a kid in grade 11 wrote the original software package that predicted the hockey stick curve.
yeah. You told us that, and you brought the Kalargi Act on the show. You brought a lot of good information on the show over the last last 5 years.
The Clarity Plan was written in, 1923, 24?
Yeah.
It's still going ahead. It's still here. It's
happening.
happening.
They're pushing for that. They're pushing to get rid of the European expansion. They want us out of here. They want us gone, boy.
What's that bitch, Ursula, the EU leader? She wants to cut a deal with India to bring in billions of them.
Well, did you see the article today?
No.
That India's High Minister is suggesting that Canada bring in 60 million Indians.
Well, sure, so they can hit their century initiative early.
Mm-hmm.
They started talking about this in 2017, and I told people about it, and they thought I was completely off my fucking rocker.
Mm-hmm.
They said, you're insane. There's no way they would do that. I says,
Here
yeah, they're planning it.
Here's the article.
Not so crazy
India
anymore,
High Commissioner suggests Canada should increase its Indian population by 60 million. It's like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. If they wanted this country, they should have came here to colonize it back in the 1400s when the Portuguese were coming over here and found Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is Portuguese for New Scotland, by the way, and Terra Nova is Newfoundland for Portuguese Terra Nova. So no, they should have come at that time and fucking colonized, not fucking now.
Hey, you know, the Indians, there's upward mobility happening now, eh?
There's who?
The Indians, there's upward mobility happening. They went from flipping burgers to flipping 18-wheelers.
Oh, flipping burgers to flipping 18-wheelers. You're a funny man, Eduardo.
Yeah, I saw it in a meme today. I had to bring it up.
That's classic, buddy. That's classic.
Anyways, Moms for This. This Saturday, Tiananmen Square, or formerly known as Dundas Square, Yonge and Dundas, right across from the Eaton Center.
Right? Oh, I know where exactly that is. Fuck, I used to hang out there when I was in my younger years.
All right, and here in where I am in Puerto Vallarta, people already forgot about this the burning of all the buses and the kioscos.
That was only for 3 hours, dude.
Well, actually, no. Those fires started around 8 a.m. and the last one was lit, I'd say 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, 6 hours. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything's quiet.
Canadians are stuck there. Canadians are stuck there. And then we have the Canadian foreign minister for foreign affairs isn't even fucking Canadian.
The way they're stuck here is, I know some people are supposed to fly back last weekend, and because of this shit last Sunday. So because a couple flights got canceled Sunday and Monday, especially with WestJet, they booked the flights pretty full. And they don't have additional planes to send down to get these people out. So, yes, some of the people are stuck here for an extra week.
Yeah.
I asked the guy, do you really care? They're not particularly. I don't mind spending an extra week down here.
Yeah.
So, because of flight scheduling, because they don't have extra planes, or they don't want to send an extra plane or two, people are stuck here for an extra week. They're getting them out slowly, but that's just economics, right? Bean counters say, yep, tight ship, no room for any mistakes, and book the planes, get them as full as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And if something happens, screw the customer, let them wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how they're stuck here. That's how they're stuck here.
Yeah.
Now, could they have gotten on another flight, paid a lot more money, and gotten home? Yeah, they could have.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people don't have that extra money to do that.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Besides, it's pretty rough down here. 30 degrees, sunny during the day, 18 degrees at night.
Are you still in Mexico?
It's rough, man. Yeah, I'm staying here till the 17th of March.
Oh, good for you, Eduardo. Good for you. You're in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see when the snow melts. And if the snow's not melted by then, maybe I'll stay an extra week.
Yeah, why not? Stay with Bubba. Bubba's enjoying Mexico very much.
Yeah, she likes the beach. There's always some kids to play with on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Later. Thanks.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's Eduardo getting us updated on upcoming events. So Moms Resist, there it is, guys. It's going to be on the 7th of March, 2026 at 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Dundas Square, Toronto, Ontario. That's 1 Dundas Street East, okay? This is a peaceful, unified march to stand for children and to end child trafficking and exploitation. So there it is right there, folks, if you guys want to join it and be there if you're in the area. All right. Okay, you are tuned into Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Let's see who we get here for callers.
Hands up high, no disguise. Lights are flashing, bodies sway. Truth is rising anyway. In the silence, in the fight, we come alive. Am I getting alive? From the cities to the coast, from the voices they fear most. When the people.
Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Steve? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you better now. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, man. Okay, that's good. It might be on a delay or whatever.
No, don't listen to the show live when you're on the phone with me. Disconnect the show. Hello? Hello? All right, guys. If you're calling into the show or you want to call into, turn off the show. There's like a minute delay. There is a minute delay on the show, guys. Woo! It's Mike in the Night.
Oh my God.
Supremio Cañón Thank you for being here on Mike of the Night, episode 639. Much appreciated to have you on the show tonight. How are you?
I'm doing groovy. Yeah. I knew you were on tonight. I was just running a little late, so
no worries. No worries. Can you address the super chat I just got there for $20 there?
Lenora Sexinger, Mike is 710. My enemy will see it, and shame will cover who said to me, "Where is Yahweh your God?" Then my enemy will see me, will cover her shame. Now she be trodden down like the mire of the streets. Oh my! Now I'm not sure what the context of that one is. It seems to me it's talking about. I mean, it's in Revelation where it appears, but talking about Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God's enemies, because it refers to a her in that case. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, that's how the story ends. Yeah. Yeah. All this wickedness, all this nonsense, all these things going on in hidden places and all the rest of it. I mean, it's all kind of coming out, isn't it? Or at least it's not like everything is out, but everybody knows there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can kind of see, the outline of Leviathan visible in the deep water now,
mm-hmm.
where it wasn't before. That's kind of the image that comes to my mind. Like people are just less inclined to believe what they're told. And now some of them, I mean, they come to completely different conclusions than we do. And no, it's not like that at all. But the thing is, no one's believing these people anymore. And that's positive.
I think the worst thing you could do to somebody in a nation that built a nation, put stuff together, and to try to, to prepare or build a better life for their children, is bringing in a bunch of fucktards that are not going to assimilate and not learn the language, and then look at us like we're fucking shit.
Yes, well, yeah, the idea is to create, it was mentioned in here, and of course, Eduardo has brought up, Color D plan. There's lots of different plans, and there's old Bolshevik playbooks, I'm sure, or at least they're influenced by these ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to wind up being a really stupid move because, of course, the Western world, especially Christendom, as it were, has been the base of operations for these people for a long time. Unbeknownst to us, and not really something that we've intuited over the last few generations, but yes, very definitely the basis of their power. And they don't actually have anywhere to go to. So, yeah, tearing down our nations is a really dumb idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it's backfiring now. It's bad, guys. It really is. And yeah, they flooded our countries, and they're trying to disenfranchise our children and kill off the elderly and everything else. Their hatred knows no bounds. Well, it's becoming obvious and unmistakable to a lot more people.
Right.
It's not something that we can game out the way that maybe they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think. Yeah, it's rough. It's already rough. Might get rougher, but I don't think the math supports it. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're running into turbulence, and these are plans that were laid a long, long time ago, and the people in charge, no, I think it's out of their control now. I think things are just kind of running on their own timetable.
So
yeah. Paul Walker, the British imperial system has to reset its colonies to maintain power. Well, they better get on it, eh?
Yeah.
Like maybe that's why Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain is becoming a thing.
Yep.
I mean, if we could put the band back together the way it was, I'll be honest with you, I'd be into it as a Canadian. But the way that London is run right now, the way Ottawa and Canberra, and no way, no.
Auckland,
Welland. No, Auckland, yeah, don't. No, I'm not interested in a Commonwealth being run the way it is right now.
No,
absolutely not. So, insofar as how much resistance we can actually put up, well, they need our compliance. If we understand what they're doing and we say no, they have to react to that.
If we stop fixing this shit, because I'm seeing the repairmen around town. I took a trip with the family to go with my son's hockey. I'm seeing the repairmen, the highwaymen, the people working on the roads, the people there. It's all fucking Canadian people, buddy. Okay? Mm-hmm. And if these people got together collectively and said, fuck it, you fix the road. If I'm going to go to a Tim Hortons and no one speaks the fuck English, why the fuck am I, you know what I'm saying? You fix the road. You fix that pipe. You fix that fucking electrical problem. We're,
Well,
you
they
know, if
can't do
everyone
it.
collectively stopped fixing shit, oh fuck.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are so many ways that we could refuse to participate. Like, okay, maybe elections are rigged, but the places where you spend your money, I mean, you vote every day of your life.
Right.
You know, decide things like that. Okay, I'm going to buy this and not that. I'm going to not buy this altogether. You know, or I'm going to take my money and I'm going to turn it into my currency and I'm going to turn it into something else. I'm just going to take it right out their system and screw them. You know, and get the word out. You know, when you talk to people. There's NPCs everywhere, silent walk. But you know, in my day, when I do go out and talk to people, I am surprised by how many are aware that there's a problem. They may not be able to put it in the words the way that we have, who've been talking about this stuff for decades in some cases, but they absolutely do know that something's wrong. And sometimes you can explain things to them, and you know, as you see it anyway, and they do go, yeah, you're right. You know, that is true. Like, could anybody in Canada prior to 2022 conceive of something like the Freedom Convoy? I'm going to tell you flat out, like, I was shocked when that happened, that there was enough people that were able to get together and make that happen. And basically, once they arrived in Ottawa, the crowd just grew from there.
Yeah.
Like, it was shocking it shocked the world. A lot more people have written Canada off than even we have.
A lot of people were saying, were stating for years that Canada doesn't have a backbone, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they just thought, they don't care, they're indifferent, or they're completely cucked and they've been taken over and everything else. I'll tell you what, like, we're basically run by, you know, spiritual cat ladies of both identifiable genders, but you know, the thing about political power is it still requires compliance.
Right.
You know, and there are so many ways to not comply.
Yep. They could pull their money out. You could organize a bank run and everyone withdraws a couple of $100 in one day. That will affect the banks big time. If everyone coordinated to withdraw $200, everybody withdrew $200 at the same time. What a fucking issue that would cause. Holy fuck.
Absolutely. Absolutely it would. Well, yeah, look what happened when Freeland froze those bank accounts. Yep. That was a signal, wasn't it? Yeah, and it wasn't like 10 million people went out. It was like maybe 20,000, 30,000 people went out and demanded their money from the bank and said, screw it. If this is the way things are going to be now, then I want my money. And what was happening? The banks, the CEOs of these banks were on the phone to Ottawa telling them, what the hell are you doing? The people, you got to understand, their situation is very fragile. Power is this ephemeral thing. And when people stop believing in it, or when they really start challenging it in ways that maybe they can't predict, okay, like, it evaporates. That's at any point in time, you know, our dance instructor, you know, prime minister could have put on his overcoat and just walked down the hill and talked to some people.
Yeah.
You know, and at least acted like he represented us too. But he was too much of a pussy. I mean, forgive me, but that's what it was. He just called us a bunch of names, and then he called a bunch of rent-a-cops to come and break up the crowd with thousands of cameras recording. There's people all over the world that understood what this country, or at least its government, is really all about. That is a massive loss of face for a country that has you know, represented itself as one of the soft powers or the middle powers of the last, you know, especially since the Cold War. Yeah, they are brainwashed, but it's not going to get them ahead much longer. You know, the math isn't supporting it. Like, the people who are really brainwashed, you know, they're still watching CBC, man. You know, like, they're and most of them are at an age, or they're working in government, or they're working in some sector where, you know, things have been pretty good for them for a long time. They don't really understand the reality for most people in this country now. They're still kind of like living in 1995. You know, so if they just continue to support the status quo, well, they become irrelevant because they're not actually contributing anything. They're not changing anything. So the divide becomes wider, the imbalance becomes wider, but that affects the stability of the system. Like, they need us all at work. They need us all out working 80 hours a week and and paying all of our money for them to actually own everything and do whatever else. And we're not doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in some cases we can't. Like the kids, the grandkids, they can't buy houses. They can't participate in this thing anymore. And it's precisely because of all the people they stuffed into this country in the last 10 years. And I'm not even blaming those people. Hey, man, like, yeah, you want a better life, but if you came here thinking it was just going to be, you know, free money and poop where you want, well, it's not going to work much longer.
Nope.
You know, because people get mad, and when they get mad, and especially like this march here that's coming up, you know, for kids and that, when the moms get involved, like the moms get radicalized, the moms get militant. Yeah, well, us old white guys, yeah, okay, well, they'll yell at us all day long and disregard us. But if the moms get out on the street, hell no. No, they're radicalizing people every day that this goes on now because of what they permitted to go on this long. And I think it's out of their control. I don't think these people have the stones to do what they would really need to do. They're not going to take over the, you know, I'm using an old metaphor now. They're not going to take over the Petrograd radio station.
No.
You know, they're not really revolutionaries. They don't have the balls for that.
What do you think is going to happen with what do you see happening in the Middle East now? Like, you know, 2 days before I made a video 2 days before and a single shot was fired and anything happened in Iran. I made a video called "The Strait of Hormuz will be under pressure. That's my next prediction is the next target." Dude, within hours after I posted that video, it happened.
Yes.
I can't believe it. And I was getting people messaging me at 1, 2 in the morning and saying, "Hey, Mike, I just watched your video. I just realized that you were saying this before anything even happened." I'm like, well, the tensions are building in Iran, and this been in the playbook for years now. And they just need to formulate it a bit better or sell it to the people a bit better, right, Supreme? So,
yeah. Where I'm really kind of shocked that they actually went through with this.
So
it was freaking stupid. It was absolutely stupid what they've done here. I think it's
all pointing to that, Supreme, though. The playbook, the globalist, or the whatever the playbook you want to call it, that we've been following on this show for the last fucking 8 years. It's the same. If the playbook is that's what it was pointing to. And in that video, I said, this is the next thing that's going to happen. The Strait of Hormuz is going to be under pressure, and it's going to be targeted. There's going to be naval confrontation, and we're going to see hot war in Iran. Fucking fast forward a day later, 2 days, everything I said, everything in that video happened.
Yeah. I was really hoping that they wouldn't do this, but they did. You know, and I'll tell you why. It's kind of convoluted why I'm concerned about it. Okay, it's on the other side of the world, whatever else. But here's the thing. You know, the reason the U.S. intervened last June was because I'm pretty sure what happened is Netanyahu picked up the phone, called Trump and said, okay, we're out of interceptor missiles. You're out of interceptor missiles. And I'm not going to let Tel Aviv get flattened. So we're going to deploy the nukes if you don't do something. You know, and this time around, I'm inclined to think there's a lot of people that have gotten the U.S. involved in this precisely because they're trying to hurt Trump. And I'm not saying that Trump is our savior or anything like that, but he makes a lot of people he makes all the right people in this country absolutely furious and beside themselves and forces them to react. And I just want Canada to be saved. And if we don't have somebody like that in Washington to really, you know, put the heat on these people, I'm going to lose my country. I'm not happy about what's going on in Iran for sure, but the main thing is there's no way in hell they're going to win this. I would imagine
they're not going to win this war. You're not going to win that war, right?
No, and then that means
they've been disputing that territory since the time of Moses.
Oh God, yeah, no, the fighting over that. Well, it's a crucial area. It's a crossroads of the world there, and it has been for thousands of years. Yeah, conflict is inevitable. So I don't know. I would imagine we've got, unless Iran really boosts up the launches, I would be inclined to think they've got, you know, maybe 4 or 5 days worth of interceptor missiles left. And then someone is going to have to do something really extreme, or they're going to have to, you know, after they launched that decapitation strike and took out Khomeini and his immediate circle. I think they expected that there'd be a ceasefire. But
well,
it turns out that's not
Russia
happening.
might do something. Russia might do something because Russia is heavily there. Iran and Russia are very heavily dependent on each other, and then you got China that lent billions of dollars to Iran. And the funny thing is, China not laundered. China lent billions of dollars to Venezuela, and they ain't getting that fucking money back either.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, where Russia was concerned, they had investments in Venezuela too. But they had such a hard time getting the Venezuelans to stop stealing everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they had already kind of started backing out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that China does in terms of securing raw materials anywhere in the world, there's a political risk attached to it. So I'm inclined to think if they haven't gamed out a response to what happened in Venezuela,
mm-hmm.
then they'll just double down somewhere else. Yeah, I'm inclined to think that Russia and China, like Russia and Persia, Iran, they have some bad blood going back 300 years, 300 years, so they're not buddies per se, but it's certainly in Russia and China's interest not to have Iran fall because it's become a nexus for their, shorter trade routes that they're trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely not in their interest for Iran to fall, but Iran has been so slow to accept any kind of help from them.
Yeah.
They're probably prepared to throw up their hands and let them fall. It's just going to create so much chaos in Central Asia. Russia given a ton of defenses to Iran. There was, Tengrism perspective. There was a conveyor belt of Chinese heavy lift aircraft flying into Iran over the last month or so, and Russia sent them stuff too. There were Russian, there were MiG-29s and Yak-130s that were flying over Tehran today. So the Iranian Air Force is still in action.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. It's tough, and we'll see what else the Americans have to do. But in terms of heavy weapons or standoff weapons, they don't have an unlimited supply. This could go 3-4 weeks, but I mean, I think they were counting on a swift decapitation strike and a ceasefire. And all Iran has to do is survive, and everybody else loses.
Yep,
that's the thing. So that's a hell of a corner to be painted into.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen because
Iran,
China's in trouble because China buys a lot of its oil through the black market petrol through Iran. We're talking 10 to 13 million barrels per day.
Yeah, well, China has a strategic reserve of about I think between 1 and 2 billion barrels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they stockpile everything, and it probably because of things like this. I don't think they really expected that America was just going to give up hegemony without a fight.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of, all this talk about a multipolar world. Yeah, well, America's basically saying, no, screw that. We're not doing that. Yeah, no, we're going to take all the marbles. We're gonna screw you all over. What else are they going to do? Would they ever have done anything else? But I think they've stepped in it here. They've definitely stepped in it. America's in trouble. America's
stretched out so super fucking thin, and they got those aircraft carriers there by the Strait of Hormuz area. Then they took them away from the fucking Taiwan area, right? So they're moving these fucking chess pieces around. They're stretched super fucking thin. They know they can't win this war. So what's the end game?
Well, I think it just seems to me like it was a roll of the dice. It was like one last chance to try to preserve hegemony. Because, I mean, Iran sells 90% of its oil to China because China will, they can accept payment in yuan. So at least they can, use that and obviously they can import lots of stuff from China too. So it's a pretty even trade for them, I think. But yeah, I can't, America, their bond markets, all the rest of it, they need cheap energy. And of course, you've got this continuous war that's been going on. It's the longest continuous state of war that Israel's been in. They've got to be hurting. And it doesn't seem no matter what he does, he can't shake Netanyahu off that country.
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs to go. That guy needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't get the courts to pardon him, and they can't seem to get rid of him. And of course, he's not going anywhere. He'll keep this war going for 10 years to keep himself where he is. Unless God has mercy on the world and he finally keels over. But It's a problem for America as I see it, that they're kind of rooked into this thing. But you also have a lot of people in the Pentagon who, they get their intelligence from that part of the world, and they also kind of tell each other.
CIA's got assets all over the place there.
Well, absolutely, yeah, and they really, like, a lot of them are not there because they're capable. They're just there because they said the right things, And you're gonna, a Raytheon and Boeing and all those guys gonna object to another war? Of course not. That's the stupid thing about it. These are people that live comfortably in the lower 48. They never have to deal with any of the blowback from any of this stuff, and they just assume, oh well, another war, good. Well, we'll make more money. They don't understand they could actually lose.
Yep. Or they could start sending retaliatory fire back to the American continent.
Well, and see, this was held out as a pretext, like Iran was, however long away from developing ballistic missiles that could reach America. And it's like, well, I think that's pretty ridiculous. First of all, but second of all, they can obviously build pretty good rockets. Eventually, they might be able to do something like that. But that's pretty ridiculous.
I think that was all a boogeyman strategy, because Iran, a country, you're telling me somebody can walk across that how many mile border they have, around 5-6 different countries, walk in with a fucking prototype and fucking copy it? Give me a fucking break.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, the U.S. is copying Iranian weapons right now. Like somebody in Iraq was just on Telegram. I just saw they're showing a American, I think it's called a Lance drone or something like that. It looks exactly like a Shahed. Like they're, their weapons are too expensive.
Yeah,
they need lots of cheap stuff, and they're just not set up for that. It's a boutique military. It's handmade, custom made, very expensive stuff, right? And they just know it's not like World War II when they were cranking out good enough stuff by the shipload. They're just not that way. They're not ready for this. They're going to be years before they're ready for this.
Yeah.
So I just think between Israeli intelligence and the CIA, maybe maybe MI6 and others are involved in it. It's look, like, if we take this guy out, Iran will crumble, and then we'll save the dollar, we'll save the petrodollar, we'll regain hegemony in that part of the world. We'll buy ourselves another 10 years, and if it doesn't work out, well, then Trump falls and then they win anyway.
Right.
So I think he just kind of got backed into a corner. There's something called escalation ladder too. Once that first wave of ships and planes arrived, then you're kind of committed. Like, things take on a logic of their own, and you just kind of get to the point where, okay, we have to attack. It's kind of like what happened in 1914. Like, once the mobilization orders were signed, and all those thousands of trains were moving millions of men around, well, once you got to the enemy frontier, you kind of had to go now. You kind of couldn't just stop.
Yeah, you had to kind
it
of...
would create chaos. Yeah, so the whole thing took on a logic of its own. And that seems to have happened here too.
You know what it could be too? Oh, a lot of this infantry and a lot of this bases and stuff and rockets and all this other stuff that we have are going to pretty much expire or be obsolete in the next 6 months to a year. Let's just fucking use it and blow shit up.
Let's just use them. Well, they did that in Syria, didn't they? Yeah, they launched 50 Tomahawks when they kind of told Syria they were coming. It was just a demonstration, but they've just fired off a bunch of old stock. The problem is the U.S. I think has a grand total of maybe 3,500 cruise missiles in stock. And the ships and the planes that they have have like 600 on site.
3,500 cruise missiles, you could blow through that in 2-3 good weeks.
It wouldn't take very long at all. No. And you're not going to hit every target. Like they fired some here not too long ago in West Africa, and they had like a 25% failure rate. So they're getting old. They're not that great. The Tomahawk is a 50-year-old technology. Like, they're not cutting edge stuff anymore. So, and of course, Iran, all of their real important infrastructure is buried in their mountains, of which they have plenty.
Right.
So they're not going to take them out that way. And I don't think they've got 1 million men sitting around, with nothing to do that they can send in there. So Yeah, I just, this was a terrible idea.
Every country is suffering a population crisis. China is suffering a population crisis.
Yeah.
Australia is suffering New Zealand, all the European expansion countries, I think the Latin American countries not too much, because they still love each other there and they make love not war in like Latin American countries, and they're it's a little bit different.
Well, we've got a lot of, I mean, part of it is the fact that we've had it so relatively good for so long that people are comfortable with modes of living and modes of thinking that for most of human history, other than say 5 minutes ago, would have been considered the stupidest freaking thing you could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And people live that way for generations, and life doesn't punish them for it. But we've reached a point in time where we've spent all the money and borrowed all the money from the great grandchildren, and bond rates are going up, and the corruption is just starting to collapse the entire global financial system. Large parts of what used to be industrial juggernauts are completely deindustrialized, right? Like Britain, the British Midlands, and America, Canada, Eastern Canada, like we used to be able to make anything ourselves. That's all been kind of taken, there's just complacency, end of historyism, I guess.
Yeah.
And now that we've reached the end of history, now we got to rebuild all that stuff. And you've just got a lot of people that like things the way they are and will fight tooth and nail to keep them that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we need change, and we're going to be fighting these people the whole way.
Let me.
And the last thing we need is a war in the Middle East right now. That's for sure.
It's because this is going to go very regional. I want to thank Paul Da Silva for buying me a coffee. I want to thank John for buying me a coffee. John B for buying me a coffee, and then we have Tio. Thanks for the coffee, Tio, tonight here on Mike of the Night. I really appreciate you guys. I pick up 2 to 3 coffees every Mike of the Night. That's really nice that you guys support the transmission. It means a lot that, some people, we're going through tough times now, are still donating to keep the transmission. And thank you from yesterday, Supreme. I mentioned you earlier in the show. Thank you for your coffee from yesterday too.
Oh, it's my pleasure, buddy. I'm happy to help what little I can.
Yeah, no, it all adds up in the end, and it helps out. It goes to a good cause, and we're just trying to create awareness in a way where people could start like take a step back and say, what the fuck?
Absolutely. As I see it, what we're doing here right here, this is a term I've used a lot too. What we're trying to do is create situational awareness. Like, what we're trying to do, I think, is understand where we are in our civilizational cycle, the cycles of history. You've heard of like the fourth turning and things like that. I think, I kind of buy that theory, but I'm not really convinced that we are quite where they say we are. Because when he talked about like springtime, he was talking about boomer times,
right,
when there was this flourishing of civil rights and all this stuff. Well, no, that was a collapse. It was a moral collapse. It was a financial collapse. It was a military collapse in a lot of ways. It was the hard times beginning, the weak men creating hard times. What we have now is we have youth that have, grown up in broken homes and lived through this debauchery and this degeneracy, and living through, their opportunities being stripped from them,
mm-hmm,
without anyone voting for any of it.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta, these are the hard times creating the hard men, and the hard men are all 40 and under right now, but they're definitely there. I mean, there's some of us who, we're hard bitten at least. We'll be cheering them on and helping in any way we can.
Speaking of cheering on, what do you think of the Indian High Minister today was reporting? It's on the paper. You could read it there on our post. Yeah. The Indian High Minister is saying that Canada needs to take in 60 million more Indians.
Well, they're going to have to run that by the Americans first.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people. I mean, there is something called the Century Initiative, some oddball, probably one of the small ad tribe that wants Canada to have 100 million people, by the end of the century.
Oh, but they want 60 million people from India.
Well, they want 60 million people from India. So I guess they're bidding to see who gets to send who here. But, we've reached a point in time where I'm hoping that the heritage Canadians, the people that actually built the place,
mm-hmm,
have found their gag reflex.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're saying, okay, yeah, no, this ain't happening. You know, like I don't like the idea of silver strife and civil conflict, but I don't like the idea of my kids, especially, well, me too, but I mean, my kids and their generation being overrun by people that have no affinity for Canada whatsoever. But what will happen is the carrying capacity of our civilization will collapse long before they reach 60 million of them. Like it's collapsing now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got crime in the streets. You know, you got poop on the beaches. You got garbage everywhere. You've got the government spending unbelievable amounts of borrowed money to subsidize what's here already.
Yeah.
Like we don't have room for what we have, let alone 60 million more.
Yeah.
And they're not bringing money with them.
Nope.
And even if they were, well, so what? You're going to have parallel civilizations all over this country. It's going to be completely balkanized. You know, so yeah, they can say what they want. They can dream what they want, but it's not happening. A reverse Pol Pot revolution. It's funny you mentioned Pol Pot because I was just thinking about that this evening myself. Yeah, there are a lot of people in our cities. I don't want to see them shot. I don't want to see them put to work out in the paddies, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of people that live in our towns, in our large urban areas, that don't deal in reality. And, you know, we need to haul them out in the countryside and get them throwing hay for a summer. They need to see how the rest of us live, you know, and maybe they'd be inclined to be a little less smug about their place in this society. You know, that's the thing. I mean, Pol Pot, it was about literally anybody that wore glasses was an intellectual. We're just going to kill them and hit the reset button on our whole civilization. It was just this sick, disgusting thing.
You're talking about Saloth-Sar, right?
Who's that?
Saloth-Sar. Saloth-Sar.
Saloth-Sar. Oh, Pol Pot, you mean?
Yeah, isn't that his real name you're talking about?
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, I think that was his pen name. I don't speak Cambodia or Kampuchean, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he had some funky ideas. It was a horrible idea to let that guy get.
That was the most retarded thing when I remember learning about him in high school. He declared year zero to reset society.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, that's what
he declared year zero. I remember this fucking guy. He declared year zero, and I remember him taking to the streets and emptied a ton of cities at gunpoint. Right, and then forced millions of people, of his own people, into labor camps. What else did he do?
Labor camps. Yeah, he wanted to completely carve the brains out of his society. All the intellectuals, all the quote unquote bourgeois. Yeah, they basically worked them to death or just took them out and massacred them. Yeah,
but
like half his population was killed by the Khmer Rouge.
But guess what he pioneered?
What else?
Abolished money. He abolished money. He abolished markets and he abolished religion. I still remember this from high school.
Yeah.
So he got rid of money. So that guy found a way for the. Yeah. So.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, as a Buddhist, I think it's a Buddhist country anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Buddhism, I mean, as I understand it, Mike, you probably understand better than I do. I don't think it's so much a religion as a philosophy.
Buddhism is like a philosophy. That's what I keep telling everybody.
Yeah, it's like Shinto in Japan. You know,
yes.
It's kind of a national, cult / philosophy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be like us worshiping Nietzsche, right? Yeah. I mean, Nietzscheism or something like that, you know. So it wasn't a political theory. It was just a philosophy, an approach to life. Maybe like Taoism in China or something like that. Yeah. So you could have a secular government that could take aspects of that. But the other thing of it is it doesn't seem like there's a lot of actual morality to it. So you could get people like young revolutionaries like the Khmer Rouge, and they wouldn't necessarily see a problem with, inflicting death on millions of people.
But here's the deal. But hold on. Remember in 78, 79, what happened? Vietnam invaded Cambodia. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was becoming such a threat to
them. The Khmer Rouge fell because I think it was in 79 or 80. Why? Mm-hmm. Because the people, no one wanted to fight for the Khmer Rouge because they were killing their own people. So they had troubles recruiting. Yeah. So you're going to go fight for someone that's... you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a horrible, horrible situation.
So,
and there again, another one of those American wars of intervention that left nothing but chaos and death in its wake when they finally left.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like, And here they are in the Middle East doing it again. It's like, dudes, I understand there's probably some method to the madness with the chaos and all of that, but like you destroyed America. It's just, like America is crumbling now. So it's just really stupid. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the point of it all is anymore.
They're just taking on too much debt. They're over leveraged, severely over leveraged.
Yeah.
And someone's going to have to pay the piper somewhere, because it can't go on forever.
No, well, of course it can. No, and that's the thing. The expectation is that, okay, it's going to go on for a while. They create enough chaos, and then they create the transition to the new thing. But there's enough resistance, resistance with actual, depth, right? Like communist China. Okay, yeah, I'm not a fan of communist China. I don't want to live under them. But you've got Russia. Russia's a power center. India is arguably a power center. It's not self-sufficient in a lot of things, but they do create a lot of food, and they have physicists and scientists there. I mean, they have satellites and nuclear power and things like that. And these are places that they're ancient civilizations. Iran is another one. The Persian civilization is ancient. They're they're not going to play. They're not going to play ball with this stuff.
It's 3,000, 4,000 years old, depending on what perspective of the history you want to go back to, right?
Totally, yeah. Like Russian civilization is probably a baby compared to those. It's only about 1,000 years old, but it is an actual civilization, and it's it's already survived what these people are trying to impose on us. And they've come out the other end, and they're standing on their feet. This is the thing that the vampires here, for lack of a better term, I mean, these are people that know their playbook now. Like China has already been through the century of humiliation. Russia's already been through the Bolshevik days, and then finally the collapse of it and the aftermath of that, which in some ways was even more horrific. And I think if it happens to us, we'll survive too. It's going to be rough, but I think we'll survive it. I think we'll come out the other end. If Serbia could be occupied by the Ottoman Turks for 600 years and still exists today, we're going to find out how hard our people are.
And
I don't think we're going to be disappointed.
No.
We're the kings, man. When it comes to beating the world, no one has ever done what we've done. No one could do what we do. And a lot of that was bad too. I'm not going to say it was all good. But if it comes down to actual staying power, no, we're not going down.
No.
It's rough. We've been infiltrated. We've been betrayed. The enemy is inside the wire. It's rough. But I think there's enough people now that understand that. And the great masses, the NPCs, well, there's always been NPCs. They're just a fact of life. Most people are NPCs. They get more wholesome programming, or, Lord willing, they hurt enough that they actually wake up from their stupor.
Yeah.
We'll,
slumber.
We're gonna gain in numbers. The pain is gonna wake a lot of people up. Let's face it. Even the comfortable ones that have enjoyed the status quo for so long, they got to be hurting units here too. They can't be protected forever. Everyone is gonna have to. Everyone's gonna lose something. They can't maintain the illusion anymore, because there's too many people that their lives are being cut short and their possibilities are being stunted, while they're being stolen from to support this part of the world.
Or their children are being robbed.
Or their children are being robbed. Yeah, and now being bombed in some places, right? Yeah. No, you put weapons in their hands, and there are people to produce and sell them those weapons that aren't American or British. Yeah, no, we need to stick to home. We have more than everything we need to sustain ourselves on this side of the world. We don't need to be stealing from everybody else.
Right.
That's a ridiculous idea, and it needs to end. So this war, if it lasts more than a week or so, I don't know. You know how fast news cycles move, right? Like maybe it will be out of the news cycle. If it ends, maybe it'll be out of the news cycle by the end of June, but I don't know. If China and Russia are actually able to add financial and material support to the Iranians, this thing could go on for months.
Oh yeah, it can.
And that will affect the midterms for sure. Well, it'll affect bond markets. It'll affect the oil price. It'll affect everything. We're all gonna feel it if this goes on for months.
Right.
All
right.
Yeah, it's gonna be funky.
Supremio, I passed my 3rd hour. We've been here for 3 hours and
20
minutes.
Well, I'm glad I got a chance to catch up and
no, that's good. Yeah, for sure.
With everybody here. It's great to see everybody here.
We got 2 first-time callers on the show tonight. So
nice, good. Yeah, more the merrier.
So
more the merrier.
A lot of people are finding us on Facebook now because we're live on Facebook, and then we got up to about 23 people watching, then 58. Then we passed 100 people watching on Facebook. Then it went back down to 20, then 9, and then 55, then 70.
Okay.
So people are finding us on Facebook now and Instagram because we're live on Instagram too. We get sometimes 10 people on Instagram, 5, 1. Then it goes up to 35, then 80. So we had I think tonight's show we had about a grand total of about 330 people total across everything.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so it's nice for us. Yeah, it's good.
It seems like things are breaking loose, especially on Meta. It looks like somebody must have shown some photos to Mr. Zuckerberg or something, because he seems to have backed right off.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem to be quite as censorious as the Alphabet group is, YouTube and the like. So hopefully some things are breaking loose. Plus, there's a business case, right? There's a business case. You're basically censoring half the population to push the narrative that they were pushing. Well, that's a lot of money they're leaving on the table. When they realize it's not profitable, I mean, they're ideologically committed. Yeah, they'll keep going, but they're just destroying their businesses.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
So at a certain point in time,
they're looting.
Money talks and BS walks.
Money talks and bullshit walks.
That's the thing. Yes, sir. Yeah. Reduce profits and laying off staff. That's right. Yeah, they're hemorrhaging money, as I understand it. Like Google, like Alphabet, they were losing $1 billion a year on like YouTube. Like they were leaving a lot of money on the table by and you can see what happened to Disney, and you can still see the most famous examples, right? Like Gillette and
Supreme? Hello? Supreme? Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello? Guys, we lost Supreme Cannon. We lost Supremio Canyon. Yeah, we lost somebody just say I packed my bags and moved to the metaverse. Yeah. Rather learning new language, watch cartoons than Hollywood Disney. All right, guys. I'm going to have some send-off music here for Mike in the Night, guys. Episode 639 of Mike in the Night. Oh, yeah. I'll put my shades on.
Transmission intercepted. For 3 hours. Signal detected. Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. Screens still glow. Satellites watching below. Red lights blinking on every paper signed in quiet rooms, deals made under crescent moons, digital chains you never see. There's something in you wants to break free. They say it's safe, they say it's fine, but why's that camera watching mine? Clock hits free, the veil gets thin. You feel the static on your skin. Baseline truth, all at your fires. No more silence, no more talking. I have spoken. Bank accounts tracked every swipe, data mined from every type. Algorithm knows your face, predicting every move you make. Borders blur, control expands, digital cuffs.
Mike Martin's here signing off for episode 639 of Mike of the Night. Take care, and if you can't take care, stay safe. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.
Eyes up, wake up, speak up, stand up. They fear the ones who see the play, they fear the ones who won't obey. Fight, fight, fight. 3 a.m., that's when you know. Fight, fight, fight. The quiet truth begins to grow. Fight, fight, fight. Signal cutting through the room. Fight, fight, fight. Truth breaking through the blue. Like in the night, no disguise, piercing through the alibis. Midnight message unbroken. I have spoken. When the world sleeps, the real talk starts. When the lights dim, we reveal the parts. Not red or blue, not left or right, just raw transmission. Mike in the night.